I'm only an A cup.
So we should start every stream.
Is that the title of today's session?
Yeah, Luca's only an A cup.
I think it's what he's drinking his espresso out of, actually.
I feel like we can tell we've been repressed. It's starting to get weird.
Oh
we're getting
boy,
weird.
howdy.
Well, welcome to the stream, everybody. How was your week?
Exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about the campaign.
No.
Oh, alright. Get that.
Yeah, you can ask questions before we give the recap. Sure.
So we had to put green alchemite in the beacon to light it.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
And we were never told by the Magister to do so.
That is also correct.
Who put green alchemite in the other beacons? Did we ever talk about that? Is there green alchemite in the other beacons?
That's
I don't believe we have that information.
Okay.
They had it available, like our captain friend, whatever, used it on himself to heal.
Right, but yeah.
Are other beacons active?
Well, I assume so, because otherwise
Shields
the
up.
dome wouldn't form, right?
I don't know that we know that other beacons are active. As far as I know, this is the only active beacon.
These are all
Unless-
fantastic questions to ask someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
I
he's
was
asking you, Spencer.
I was lying in bed and I was still kind of in character with council mindset, and I was just like, none of this makes sense.
pretty sure Revan brought that up about the other beacons, and everybody was like, eh.
I'm picturing Alex laying in bed reading a book, but only like using two leather straps to only read
Over
one
a
word at
part
a
of
time.
It was
Oh gosh, I'm reading Lovecraft books too.
Call
He's very
me
wordy.
Ishmael.
Moby Dick was long enough.
Ishmael Hands.
Nobody should read it that way.
The last session was titled Making Up for Lost Time.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Not sure what happened, but this is the first session all campaign for me. I don't have a single note. And I've
It
gotten
was
really good at,
basically all just fighting.
maybe that's why. I've actually gotten good at taking notes now. I don't have a single note from last session.
You guys are amateurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can give it.
taking
I can give it a whirl. Give Alex a break.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. I actually napped
Uh,
today, so I feel good.
You feel free to pepper in details, Alex, because I think you take more intricate notes. But basically, we eventually win combat, summon the beacon, finish off the fight. Then,
Well,
Already.
what do you mean already?
So we tried.
I was
we,
getting into it.
we
Alright, go.
tried to put red alchemite in the beacon, and that didn't work. And so we had to try. We had basically, thankfully, we had the spare pieces of green alchemite from when we were in the cave. We were never given alchemite to put in the beacon.
Keep going.
And then-
I forgot. So my notes start with "We eventually win combat," which is a really rough way to start this. Anyway,
oh,
you go ahead.
Callie took
It's
a
accurate, but just skips
yeah. Callie took a piece of alchemite from council and swims off toward the other tower. After about 20 minutes, the barrier begins to appear. The barrier formed all over the wall and on both sides. It's barely visible, and it appears to be forming a dome at the top. And then council tested it by trying to stab it with his sword.
Mhm.
You-
and it
no,
behaved like plexiglass.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Luca.
No. So after the beacon was activated, Callie took off for the fourth one, and Tizal followed. Basically, she was underwater. He was flying along the length of the wall.
Mhm.
Eventually, he got surrounded by the barrier, so he turned around thinking he couldn't make it to Callie. And I think maybe I misunderstood that, but I thought I was on the inside of the barrier and I wouldn't be able to get out to get to the sea.
So the barrier formed on both sides of the walkway along the wall. If you were following along that, you were either caught between those two barriers, and so you would have to fly all the way back, or you would be stuck on the outside or the inside.
Sure, I got you. I think he would have been kind of stuck in between the two.
Yeah, that's what I imagined. Especially because we had you go back to the original, like where
The original
beacon was.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so then he doubles back. Everyone heads to the Magisters. Everyone gets back to the Archmagister's room in the Academy. Council asks about Callie, and Tizal says that he couldn't get to her because he was in between the barriers, so he turned back. We talked to the Magister for a while and inquired about Shepherd's Pie and the fact that he never showed up. He doesn't have information for us. No one can tell us why Shepherd's Pie, the other knight Aran, never showed up. So we're unsure about that. We explained to the Magister that the green alchemite is what was able to power the beacon, and that small fragments might not hold up for long because we only had a small chunk of alchemite. So we're unsure how long that would actually power the beacon. So there's some concerns around that. Callie eventually came back and let us know that the doors inside the outer walls were shut when the barrier formed, because I think we were questioning whether the doors that we were fighting in underwater with the non, what would happen if they did get closed, if we left them open. And Callie came back and confirmed that the barrier shuts them, so the doors and everything underwater should also be protected by the barrier. Callie is planning to return to her sister, who we now know is the High Priestess, Lady Negro. And then all of us took our leave. Callie and Revan were kind of speaking in Non, and people started to trickle out and kind of give them privacy, and that's where we left off, I believe.
Yeah, she asked Revan about his vision in more detail, and they were about to discuss it. She also mentioned that she dropped her crossbow at the first tower and offered it very graciously to the group as a parting gift. And when asked about its quality, she said, "It's exceedingly nice," which I thought was amusing.
The non do not use anything that is not exceedingly nice.
Oh, I see.
All of their things are very nice.
The non of the deep the same? Or is that just the regular non?
There is no distinction between those two. The non of the deep and the non of the shallows. The non of the deep specifically are more focused on beauty and more superficial things. The non of the shallows are more like the Murlocs, like the people along the coast that collect bits of treasure and trash and bring it back to the non of the deep.
But aren't they themselves kind of weird looking with extra limbs and things like that? Okay.
Yes. So many of the non of the deep that you have encountered have had varying like physical abnormalities to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you read through the player's handbook, I spoil it.
Yeah.
There. So I won't. It's not like a spoiler for the campaign or anything. But they very much all seek after their own forms of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And so what one thinks is beautiful, like I think that having additional arms is beautiful.
Right.
Or I think that, having like overinflated lips or something stupid like that is beautiful. And so
None of the deep make a duck face,
Can I interrupt with a super important question for Barnabas? Are you drinking out of a Pro V water bottle? Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
I feel dirty if that helps.
Yep, you should.
I'm surprised your lights didn't just turn off. Oh no, they had them on down there. Never mind.
There we go. Get my Taco Bell. All right.
I think Wander said he was going to go get the crossbow.
Yep,
Yeah.
I said I would go get the crossbow.
He wandered off.
Indeed.
And
And with the barrier up, the delightful breeze that had been blowing through is no longer there.
Yep.
That's correct. Yeah, it is much more stagnant inside the walls of the city. Not in a like suffocating way, like the people in here aren't going to die or anything. Like you didn't just seal them in a plastic bubble.
Rat.
Did we?
That you know of.
So, do we know dimension, like relative to the map that's on the screen right now? Do we know how much of this is covered by the barrier?
Yes, you do. Hang on. Let me see if I click over here. Can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this whole area
Okay.
is encased by the barrier.
Extending into the water, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So the original four-sided trapezoid is what's covered.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. What is traditionally viewed as the city of Orin is entirely encased within this protective dome. I'm gonna eat on stream, by the way, because my food just got hit.
Neat.
Oh, jeez.
The Kraken.
What's the title of today's session?
The title of today's session is All Roads.
Very nice.
Is that Phil? Phil the farmer?
Phil the farmer. No, it's actually Will. The cat.
Jill.
Goodness gracious. And we left off with Revan and Callie doing the
Correct.
chat
Revan,
thing, right?
Revan and Callie were chatting. While everyone else had left, the High Magister was kind of just minding his own business on the other side of the room, and Wander had left to go back to get the crossbow.
Also, great music so far. I approve of the choice.
So this is just the D&D Calm playlist.
Oh?
You remember? I think there was like a Reddit post or something that somebody shared. It might have been
Yeah.
you or Luca that had like, was that Adam? It was like a
think
whole
so.
list
I
of
mean-
like curated playlists just
Oh.
for D&D.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Calm playlist.
That's great.
Cool. So, Captain Revan, standing with Callie in the Magister's chambers. Callie, after everyone leaves, asks, "Do you not find it strange that our goddess would reach out to you, one of not our kind?"
It certainly seems out of the ordinary, but with the dealings I've had with creatures of the deep as of late, it didn't immediately strike me as odd. But I see your point.
Now, when you say creatures of the deep, do you mean Asnan?
No.
Do you mean the Kraken?
Perhaps this is something even bigger, older, more powerful. The stories that we've heard from a life on the sea have only addressed him or made himself known as... I keep saying him, it's her. As the Fathomless. Does that mean anything to you?
There is none beside Naruya.
And does she take multiple forms?
No.
She's not known to shapeshift.
No. She is of one form. Why?
Have you seen her yourself?
No. Only the High Priestess is spoken to by Naruya. And even then, not face to face. At least not for some time.
So have any of your kind actually seen Naruya?
It is said that once upon a time, Naruya did commune with the non-face to face, with the High Priestess.
And do you know how she appeared, or how she was described to the non?
She's only described as having the utmost beauty.
Well, the creature that spoke with me was larger than any creature I'd ever seen. I couldn't even take in the whole of its body. Its eye was nearly as big as a house itself.
That is very strange. Whatever this creature is, surely we would know of it. And it spoke to you, you say?
It did. We... In exchange for saving my life, it imbued me with certain powers, enabling me to be a better sailor and protect myself and my crew.
And I saw some of these on display in the previous battle, yes?
Aye, indeed.
That weapon you used. She
Pulls
points
out.
at the pistol on your hip.
He pulls it out. Doesn't point it at her, but just holds it.
You mean this one? Bam!
Oh no.
Is this blessed by whoever this Fathomless is?
I don't know if blessed is the word I would use, but it certainly is imbued with power from this creature. This, I can only assume, is some kind of deity or thereabouts. Are there stories of Naruya reaching out to those outside of the non-community? Or am I the first time you've ever heard of this?
This is the first. This is the first of anyone outside of the High Priestess being spoken to by Naruya.
Is that so?
Indeed.
There must be more to this. Why reach out to me? A captain with little dealing with your kind.
And why would she tell my sister to find you? To help you? I'm not sure.
There must be some kind of connection that we are not yet privy to. Will there be a way to reach out to you or your sister as our adventures continue, if clues happen to come to light, or if there are things we'd like to share with ye or ask of ye?
Knowing of the importance of the mission that you are on, I'm sure that my sister would welcome you into the Crystal Cathedral. You would be welcome amongst those of the deep who have not given in to their primal urges.
And what is the Crystal Cathedral?
The Crystal Cathedral is where my sister, the High Priestess, resides and worships. It is the seat of all power amongst the Na'an.
Is it far from here?
Very.
How long was the journey for you to make your way to Orin?
Longer than a week. Swimming to the surface.
Have you means other than swimming, or did you swim the entire way?
I only swam. But
That's impressive.
I am skilled in such matters.
This would make sense for one who lives beneath the waves.
This is true. I am even more skilled than most, which is why my sister called upon me to find you.
I'm trying to think of what importance I could share with you from the visions, and in the second vision, it seemed likely that a deity of each of the 6 races was present.
And you did not explain to her the second vision.
Oh, I thought I had. Shoot.
You'd only mentioned the first one when you initially got the compass.
Yes. So the second one was with the Daeron. I'm trying to remember it all. That had the compass. I have to see if I have more notes. I can't totally remember what the second vision was, and I remember there's the deities there.
And you say all deities were present?
Yeah, so sorry, as I'm thinking aloud there, he's sharing these details with her.
Also, what gives you cause to assume these are deities and not merely 6 representatives?
Well, they may be. I'm only making some assumptions from some of the conversations that we had. As we talked through it as a party, we assumed that they represented the 6 races, and there was perhaps a chance these could even be the deities of each of the different races.
Do you know how long ago this took place?
The vision?
Yes. Or the events in the vision?
Do I know? I don't know if we talked through that. Does Revan know?
There'd probably be no way for you to know that, huh?
Yeah. I'm not certain of how long ago it would have been.
Perhaps it is a vision of the future.
Perhaps.
Either way, that is interesting information to bring back to the High Priestess.
And have I told you of this? And he pulls the compass out. I can't remember if I shared with her or not.
You shared how you got it.
Okay.
Or you shared the vision in which you got it. I don't think you ever shared it specifically.
Okay. So this is the compass in which I spoke, and he offers it to her to take a look.
She takes it and kind of looks it over. And what does it do?
It appears to point in the direction of what I most desire at the moment, or what I am thinking most strongly about. And I can shift what that focus is, and the needle will point in a different direction.
And this was given to you by this Fathomless.
It appeared in the pocket of my coat when I awoke after we were attacked by the Kraken as we came into Orin. I know not who put it there. Immediately after the vision, the first vision I shared with you is when it appeared.
Are items like this common amongst your people?
Compasses or items magically appearing inside of our clothes?
Just items with these magical properties.
I'm guessing no. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
see.
they're. Yeah. This is one of the first of their kind I've seen, other than, and he motions towards his pistol, other than the power imbued within my pistol.
Amongst the non, and I wish for you to not share this with anyone except you and your companions. She gives an eye to the Magister. And she goes back to speaking in non. She says, we have a similar item. It is a mirror. And it is how we were able to know you.
Really? And is that at the cathedral right now?
It is. It is in possession of my sister.
Did she make any mention of this compass or similar items before you left to find me?
No, we did not know of the existence of anything other than what we had.
Are you heading home after this to see your sister?
I am.
And when you share the information I have shared with you, if she has any revelations, do you have a way to get word to me?
Other than to come find you again, no.
Okay.
With the aid of the mirror, we should be able to find you wherever you are. But I'm not certain how long it will take me to get to you again, should there be something else we need to speak of.
Sure. And perhaps if we ever are to leave Orin, the compass could guide me to you and your sister.
I might suggest you learn how to breathe underwater before you do this.
I've already done so, with the help of the the friend I told you of.
She looks impressed. Are your companions
just so.
similarly blessed by this fathomless?
Sorry, say that again.
Are your companions similarly blessed by this fathomless?
They are not. Our fateful meeting happened before I began traveling with them. I used to captain a ship and traveled with a different crew. And it was a fateful night when this happened, some time before I met up with the group of travelers you now know me to be with. To my knowledge, they've had no contact with the Fathomless.
They may also want to learn how to breathe underwater then, if you intend to ever come down to the Crystal Cathedral.
Aye. That would probably help.
With that, I think it is time for me to go. It was a pleasure to be of service to you. Captain, is it?
Aye.
Captain Revan.
And I to you. To serve in the presence of your kind was an honor, and I hope our paths cross again.
It would be a delight. And with that, she turns and goes to leave. At which point, the Magister over in the corner of the room is just kind of like looking through shelves and books and stuff. Kind of see him like tapping his foot, looking at like a watch that doesn't exist. Looks out the window a little bit. Kind of looks up at the sun.
Well, Magister, if you've nothing further, I bid you good evening.
It's early morning.
All the same to a pirate.
I'll believe you. If you see Danny, please tell him to hurry along.
Undo.
You, Magic's
away
open the door.
All right.
And you leave.
I head back out and join the group.
Which I think that most of them had already, like, walked back to the Wolf and Hound, right?
Yeah, Council went straight to bed.
Tizal would have potentially made a detour on the way back.
Okay. Why don't we get to that after Wander? So Wander, you took a stroll down the wall. It takes you, I don't know, probably better part of an hour or two. Actually, probably maybe an hour to get there. Also, I can't hear you.
I'm using my longer strides that I use when there aren't normal humanoids around. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, maybe like 45 minutes, maybe a little bit faster. When you get back to the tower that you guys had fought at earlier in the morning, everything is there untouched. Nothing looks like it has been disturbed at all.
I look around because she said she had dropped the crossbow. Yeah, I start looking around for the crossbow. See if I can locate it.
Okay. Anywhere in particular you'd like to look? Or just...
I just start looking around. If I recall correctly, she just said she dropped it, so...
Go ahead.
I just look around.
Okay, just make me a perception check.
Okay. 21.
21. Cool. So while you are searching for the crossbow, you look out into the ocean, which at this point, because you can see that the barrier is protecting you on the inside here. You can see out to where the non-encampment was this morning. And you can see there are a decent amount of non than there were when you fought them earlier in the day. Looks like they may have come from the tents that were further back. And they're all kind of like swimming around the area of the tower and around the barrier, and they're you can see that they have like poked at it and like shot arrows at it and like tried to find some way to get through it, and they can't. But there is easily twice as many as there were when you guys fought them, and they are just kind of there, like swarming almost. But after you take note of that and noting your relative safety, you peer down inside the water in the tower, and you notice on the stairs you can see something that is, there's some light that is glinting off something that is metal down at the bottom.
Okay. I yeah, how far down is it? Could I like reach down, or would I need to travel down there?
You'd have to travel down.
Okay.
Because it's a relatively small stairway. So you would be able to probably like wedge yourself enough in there to be able to make your way down without just floating back up to the surface. Like a cork. Like, so you can just kind of like wedge yourself down to where it is. Because it's only on like the second landing down, but it's far enough down that you would actually have to travel to get down to it.
Okay. I did it once, so I'll do it again. I'll turn into a giant constrictor snake and... Well, no, hold on. I'm not going to be able to hold on to a crossbow. Hold on.
It's a hand crossbow, and you won't have hands.
I know, right?
Eat it.
Put it in the mouth.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Natural 20 into yourself.
Hold on. Is a seahorse big enough to carry a...
This is like a dire seahorse.
Yeah, they're like an inch tall, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
No. Giant seahorse.
Oh. So a foot.
We're talking Kingdra here.
Yeah.
Not horsey.
Although the giant seahorse is large.
Oh, wow. That's actually giant.
Yeah.
Clydesdale of seahorses.
Yeah, this is a legit horse, just underwater.
Nope, giant crab. Giant crab is medium sized. I turn into a giant crab to attempt to retrieve the crossbow.
Okay.
Oh, good crib.
You
Snips
go
it
in
half.
through the somewhat uncomfortable, but you are used to it at this point, events of kind of like folding in on yourself in this like origami pattern of like wood and splinters to form this kind of crab shape, and you make your way down into the water. You are able to find what looks like a hand crossbow. Looking at it, you can see that it's made of a nice silver. And it's got like lots of like filigree and fancy stuff along the I guess the barrel of the, I don't know what you call the bottom part of a hand crossbow.
Yeah,
I'll call it a barrel. So it is, as described, exceedingly nice.
Excellent. Yeah, I grab it and travel back. I walk along the wall as a giant crab for a while, until I realize that walking sideways isn't as exactly.
I was gonna say, you walk sideways the whole way.
Mm-hmm. I walk sideways
Fantastic.
for a while just for the meme content, and then turn back into a
Scuttle.
ridiculous walking tree.
Can you imagine any non seeing him? They're like, what?
The duck? Okay. Yeah, you do so. Yeah, and you walk your way back. Being again on the inside of the wall, you're not able to leave there until you get back to the point where you're outside the Magister's Tower.
Yep.
Slash the
that
main
makes-
entrance to Orin. You exit. Start making your way back to Wolfenhound?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Tizal, you said you wanted to make a detour on the way back.
Yeah. He, on the way down, just as soon as he leaves the academy, he kind of stops and remembers the barrier that was keeping them out of the walls. The door within the walls, I think it's west of the academy, and he kind of wants to go check that out before going to sleep.
Wait, you wanted to check out... I'm sorry, what?
The walls, I believe it's to the west of the academy.
The main gate.
The main gate, where
With
once
the
it
little
opened,
wall,
there was a
little doors.
door
Yeah.
inside of the wall that was protected by some barrier that we couldn't get through.
I think it was just locked.
Was it locked or was it a barrier?
It was locked.
It was locked.
Like a key lock?
There wasn't a key, but there was a door that you could not open.
That we could not open.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna want to go check that out, I think.
Okay. Cool. So you leave this area, number 3, past the academy, and as soon as you get out there, again you feel that same breeze that kind of permanently blows through this area. You see the scattered bits of armor that have been left over for some purpose, and it, other than the massive, like, clearish green dome behind you, it is unchanged out here.
Oh, so the dome doesn't extend out here.
It does not. It goes along the flat wall.
the flat wall. Okay.
Mhm.
He's gonna check the door anyway, just to see if something changed.
Okay.
So he's gonna go to the gates, open the gates, signal to have the gates open, and then give the door a tug and see what happens.
So at these outer gates, they're not manned by anyone. There are no guards out here. They're only the inner gates have any guards at them. So when you get out there, you're able to put your hand on the sigil or your wing on the sigil and open the doors yourselves.
He does so.
Okay. And you're just wanting to see if anything has changed with the door, or
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Make me an investigation check.
11 plus 1, 12.
12.
Yeah.
You're not really able to tell anything has changed with the door. Overall, outside of that dome, again, it looks entirely unchanged.
Okay.
Like you have walked through these doors 4 or 5 times now, and they look exactly the same.
Okay. Yeah, he can see the door, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
He's gonna just try to open it.
Yep. Yeah. You push on the door, you pull on the door, you try to get it to move in any which way, and it doesn't budge at all.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, he would close up the gate and head back, just making sure that nothing did change with the barrier. The barrier being summoned and this door being so nearby that nothing changed. Like, nothing isn't going to come out, potentially. Like, it's in
Right.
the same state it was before.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. Yep. You return everything to normal and make your way back. And I'm assuming you're heading also back to the Wolfenhound?
Yes, to go to sleep.
Okay. Any other detours on the way back, or is everyone just convening?
Nothing for me.
Okay. Cool. You guys all make your way at your own separate times back to the Wolfenhound. Probably those of you who were leaving earlier, so maybe Council and Felix, you probably passed Danny heading in the opposite direction.
Yes.
And Revan, you probably passed him like at the end of your conversation, like got to the bottom of the tower, and Danny was like just starting to make his way up. So you saw him.
I'll let him know the Magister's looking for him.
Okay. Other than that, it is a normal day here in Orin. The citizens of the town do seem to take note of the barrier and the lack of the breeze. But you don't hear anybody like talking about it. There's no scuttlebutt going on. The marketplace, for those who are walking through early enough, where it's you see the vendors starting to set up their stalls, people hawking things. James Verneth is already out there walking around, strutting. He stops and talks with Council and Felix for just a moment. Kind of seeing that you have a place that you want to be.
Mhm.
He just kind of asks, "How were things? General report." And then-
Yeah, Council acquiesced politely, but is definitely holding his wounds from bleeding more. He's
holding his innards in.
Yeah, it went pretty well.
Felix just kind of gestures at the barrier.
Council does ask if Verneth plans to do anything now that the barrier is up. Like, do they have a next step?
Honestly, never really considered we'd get this far, so I suppose we'll convene with the High Magister and we'll come up with some next steps.
Hopefully it prevents unnecessary deaths.
Yeah, I certainly hope so.
Now, are the other beacons accessible to us inside?
Yeah, those that are within the above water, yeah, you can get to them.
I'd certainly like to inspect one of them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you go to, and he kind of points down to the southwest corner of the city, says if you go there, that's probably the safest one. One in the southeast, I mean, now that the barrier's up, hopefully that would be safe too, but it's certainly closer to where the non are, so I try to stay away from there myself.
Do you think maybe there might be some trapped inside with us?
Trapped inside the barrier? I guess it's possible. That might be a good next step.
I imagine it's probable. There is a bunch of water inside of the barrier.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point. I might take it on me and the lads to go out and see what's out there.
Any stuck inside don't have reinforcements, so
That's true. Yeah, right. Should be easy to wipe them out. Good call. He lets you guys go on your way. Which you return to Wolf and Hound, and it is very much how you left it just a couple hours ago. Molly is there, and she's serving drinks to a couple patrons that are there, and some hot breakfast. You find Stefan is behind the bar, and he is cleaning and bringing in supplies you can see from out back. I'm assuming you guys just go up to your rooms.
Yeah, Council will do some light bandaging and then try and get his proper rest.
Okay. Sure. Felix doing anything in particular?
in the morning I'll be changing my infusions around.
So this is early in the morning right now. You
Well,
get back there
after the long rest, I guess.
Sure. You get back there about
Morning is all relative, right?
Yeah, like 6 a.m. ish.
Sure. In the afternoon.
Yeah, the afternoon when you wake up. You're a teenager again. You stayed up all night playing
Yep.
video games. All right. You do that. I imagine then that Tizal would probably be the next one back. Tizal wanting to do anything special or just kind of heading up to the room to go to sleep?
He would probably sit at the bar and grab a drink. And then whoever wants to listen, he's going to explain the whole ordeal and how he was the hero that got the killing strike on the non under the water and basically waiting for others, just knowing he's probably behind, but Revan's not going to beat him, so he's going to drink until probably at least he sees Revan and head up.
Okay. You explain your tale, and certainly Molly and Stefan are seemingly enraptured by your story. Actually, make me a charisma check.
Is this a performance or just a charisma check?
Make a performance, sure.
I have a performance. I'm proficient in it.
Yeah.
Drunken Master. Performance 17.
17? Yeah. They are hanging on your every word. Even a couple times, like while you're talking, you see Molly just kind of like gasp and like, no! Describing your fights with the underwater non.
Every other sentence he would be mentioning that Shepherd's Pie was not there and was a no-show, and he was probably somewhere drinking water and not defending the town.
When you mention Shepherd's Pie, both of them just kind of like look at each other and like, yeah, we haven't seen him, have we? Oh, must have disappeared.
Coward.
You continue on with the rest of your story.
Mm-hmm.
About the time you're wrapping up, Revan walks in.
Revan
You guys head up or
gives a wave or an acknowledgement to Tizal, but heads up to go to sleep.
okay.
He's pooped out.
He'd wrap up his story, kill his drink, and then head up.
Okay. And last but not least is Wander. Wanders in.
Yeah, wanders in, looks around for a little bit. He's had just enough sun in him that he's ready. He just goes right up to his room and conks out and goes to sleep.
You find everybody else asleep already up there. Alright, you guys get a long rest. And you wake up at roughly 2 in the afternoon.
I sent you my infusion bookkeeping just so you don't call BS if I pull out something random.
Oh.
You don't get an immovable rod, stop that.
Does Felix transfer the crossbow infusion? to the new one?
So your crossbow feels less special in the morning.
Okay. That's fine.
And when you get up, Felix is going to tell you to give him the new one before we go to sleep tomorrow.
Wait, I thought your crossbow blew up.
I had two. I had the regular
Oh,
one that
okay.
Felix gave me, and then the special
It
one.
didn't blow up, he chucked it at someone.
That's right.
It
Yeah,
broke and then he chucked it at someone.
That's true.
It was pretty great.
You
Burnt down,
critted, right?
fell over, then sank into the swamp.
He crit with the shot and that's what broke it, yeah.
Crit with the shot and broke it.
Yeah.
Because any of the ancient weaponry, that's the thing with it.
Yeah. The old one.
Cool. Yes, you wake up and you feel refreshed and ready for the day ahead of you.
All right. Council's gonna wake up and do a bit of a workout.
He just had a morning workout already. He's gonna work out more?
Yeah, he's gonna get gains.
Council's on that gain train.
He has no I think he's. Oh no, he's the only one of this group that doesn't have any special magic key properties, whatever.
Fair.
He has a mask.
You have battle commands.
You have a horrible face.
That's true. That's true.
Both of those things are true.
When Wander wakes up, he looks around for Council to give him the crossbow.
Cool.
Council is exceptionally grateful. And when he holds the hand crossbow, it's like seeing a trained professional do something for the first time. You know, he spins it in his hand a couple times. He holds it. He quickly cocks it, uncocks it. You know, checks its latches, the trigger, and everything very quickly. It's very clear that Council was trained to use a hand crossbow, and he's just been making do for this entire time. So he's very comfortable
For
Yeah.
7 levels.
for 7 levels. Yes, 6 levels. Sorry.
I'm just
My
imagining-
goodness, that certainly looks like a very familiar weapon in your hands, without any question.
It is how I was trained to fight. To have a familiar weapon in my hands is a strange minor stress that has been lifted.
Very good. I give my blessing to this use of wood.
I appreciate you recovering this for me. I will endeavor to put it to good use.
It
And-
looks quite fancy. I would assume you'd need someone with some abilities to detect if perhaps there was any existing enchantments or anything of that nature, which I wouldn't be surprised about.
That is a good point. I pull a no, what was it? I was gonna say I tested. I fired a deer. No, I was gonna.
I shoot a rabbit off the nearby path. You actually, upon looking at this, one, there is no wood on it. It's completely made of silver.
Oh, it's pure silver.
Mhm.
Wow,
You're
that's
throughout.
all
Okay.
impressive.
Oh my.
And this is a +1 hand crossbow.
Delightful.
Nice.
Thank
So
you,
It'll burn Darth Council.
Darth Council. So
Yeah.
wait,
Press it into his face.
is Felix putting the infusion on it?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay, so
It needs to be after a long rest. So,
that's fine. Yeah.
so when Felix comes down the stairs, his armor is back into guardian mode.
Mm-hmm.
And on his shoulder, there's a tiny. Let me upload a picture. It doesn't look exactly like that, but it gives you a good idea. It's a little mechanical scorpion that looks like almost unnecessarily intricate.
Oh.
To use the word filigree again, there's like a lot of metal filigree. Like it's basically just a bunch of like a little metal cage thing. You can see through it, and it's in the center. You can see like a piece of green alchemite glowing inside of it, so it's glowing green. And
Heck
it's
yeah.
this little scorpion, and it has dragonfly wings, so it can fly around.
A flying scorpion. You've
And it's kind
created.
of just perched on his shoulder.
Or a fine. Who wants a fine? You've created a fine spider, basically, that can sting.
This is why the Dwarn make rules.
Because their imagination will lead them to things like this. Okay.
That's a little homunculus servant.
Yep, when you all come downstairs, you see still Molly and Stefan kind of toiling away. Molly looks at you. And she asks, I'm glad to see that you've all made it back safely. What do you plan to do now? Hopefully not get yourselves hurt.
Well, I plan to eat a little something. And Revan
Oh, absolutely,
orders a little-
darling. What do you have?
Orders some food. Whatever's on the chalkboard. Or
Yeah, they bring out basically like the medieval equivalent of like a pulled pork sandwich.
Dang.
Like
Well, breakfast?
some night. It's
Oh, it's afternoon,
It's
that's
true in the
right.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Lunch.
and also for breakfast,
Just dip it in maple syrup for breakfast.
Yeah, don't be a prude. Alex.
A prude.
It's just like a thick like loaf of this like sourdough bread that's been cut in half, kind of like hollowed out and just stuffed to the brim with this like caramelized pork. That's got like a little wooden skewer through the top with an olive on top of it. They bring that out.
Medieval pita.
Yeah, basically. Except pitas are medieval. They're pre-medieval.
Whatever.
They're pre-evil.
They prevail.
I just realized I was doing less damage last combat than I should have been doing, so I guess that balances out with me not having disadvantage, Spencer.
Whatever. You would have all died.
I hadn't updated my damage rolls, so my dex was still 2 less than it should be. So I was only adding +3 instead of +5.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Wow.
I think we have 2 options. We go to the west, or we go where? I don't. The Magister has not really provided additional information. I believe we Sledge and I don't remember the dwarf. I was unconscious for most of the conversation. I remember Sledge said his people are to the west.
I do have a few things I'd like to take care of.
And I mean, absolutely no disrespect to the Magister whatsoever, but keeping in mind that we have worked closely with him and been well rewarded for the tasks we've done so far, but we don't necessarily need to do as he instructs us. We can strike out on our own if we so intend to.
Agreed. Our initial agreement was to complete one of the tasks he asked of us, and we have completed almost all of them. I believe it is fair to say that our contribution has been beyond expectation.
Our destinies from here out should be our own.
Agreed. Although I am still terribly curious about the barriers. I know they were working on cordoning off the other section with that wall. They could simply get a little bit more green alchemite into a couple more beacons, then they would have a whole other section of the town cordoned off and available to them.
I believe it would be to visit one of the beacons to the southeast or southwest to see how they function, if in a similar fashion.
That was my plan.
I'm
Also-
very concerned of the southeast wall that we have to rebuild. It may be standing, but the barrier will drive the non from the barrier we activated to the south. So I agree, it might make the most sense to start there.
If there is interest in journeying west, may I ask what we hope to find by doing so? I am curious in Sledge's existence and the mentions of others of his kind, for sure, but I am not sure how that lies into the rest of our priorities.
His hammer, no?
The compass pointed us at the hammer.
If the hammer is the objective, then I agree.
On the way back to the Wolf and Hound, just for security's sake, I checked the west gates past the academy and made sure the door inside of the gates was still blocked or locked in some fashion. And that is the case, in case anyone was curious.
It is good
But-
to know.
I do believe the beacons may have some form of, how would you say, connection to these doors.
Potentially. I am considering organizing all of the information we have collected from the start of our journey to now, and perhaps present it to this group for a wider discussion. I believe there are a lot of pieces that we have yet to organize in a way that makes sense. The gaps in the dawn timekeeping, the visions Revan has had, his compass, my transformations, the concepts of noon, reclaiming life, the gods, the Kraken, the heart of the world. All of this seems to play together, but we have not yet laid out any conclusive connections. It is a lucky fool who can stumble blindly through life. I do not plan to do so.
There's likely a thread connecting many of the events and circumstances that you laid out. I think it would be good for us to delve into them and to determine what our true priorities are. Although there is much of interest, what is our actual goal in all of this?
That sounds wise to me. Many years ago, I met an elderberry bush that told me the unexamined life is not worth living, so I completely agree.
I am...
By the way, are we not going to talk about the Fak Wander can turn into snakes? Did you know this, Felix? Did you, Council? Evan?
We witnessed him turn into a spider. The snake was certainly impressive.
But snakes? You are
Did we
full
see
of
him turn
tricks,
into a
man.
snake? I don't know if I saw him.
Yeah, he did, and then he went underwater.
Oh,
That's
he
how
did it
that's how he
above-
gained
yeah,
water
that's
breathing, yeah.
You guys saw it. I saw him transform back after
Oh.
the whole time the snake was communicating with me.
Does this stem from the fear of serpents being a mortal enemy of avian kind?
No, it stems from him being dope. So
Can-
cool.
Can all Torn do that?
I'm gonna defer to the DM here. I would say probably not, but there's a chance I've possibly met other druid Laurel Torn. I don't know.
You have not met any other druid Torn. And you don't know if there are any others that exist. There might be, but there's just a chance you have not met them.
I have never personally run across another, and I certainly have been looking and keeping my eye out for such a thing. That's not to say they couldn't possibly exist. As I mentioned before, our people don't have written records, so if there was something of that nature, and it wasn't passed down in the oral traditions, which are scarce, I wouldn't know.
To continue the conversation, Council, I do think it would be best for us to put all of our thoughts in one place and discuss. So if you have a way to do so, it would be helpful.
I will do what I can to organize such information. Are we... I'm not saying that this is a necessity, but are we in agreement with what we are trying to accomplish? I'm curious what others' thoughts are on a broader perspective.
I assume some of our end goals may not align with one another, and that's where it may be good to discuss through them so we end up headed in the same direction.
Agreed.
Yes, I believe what's bound us together thus far was initially escaping places we were unwelcome, followed by trying to keep our heads from being blown off. So there was a large amount of necessity driving us together, and now we're getting to more optional paths.
I have a hard time believing any of you want to be the greatest Aran since Alacanter, so I would say our goals might differ slightly. But understanding what is the greatest threat in protecting these lands, to me, these should be our focus.
Oh, can you be certain that the lands are all threatened?
Ancient barriers are not put in place for no reason. We were told Noon wants to reclaim life force that is supposedly in the heart of the world under Oren. None of those things sound calm in nature.
At this moment, I consider us to be at war. It would be wise not to forget it. From my understanding, there has been increased chaos emerging in various parts of the world. The Hewn Lands, as we have seen from personal experience, the Elm, as I have mentioned before, I say very quietly to make sure no one else can hear.
Give me a perception check.
Wait, seriously?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Somebody heard it, but you don't know.
Oh, okay. I shoot them.
Well, you don't know who.
I shoot everyone. I got my new Van Helsing crossbow. Okay. So, with an increasing chaos in the world, and the threat of life being reclaimed by one who may or may not have understandable motives, it is my hope that by learning more of the heart of the world, and by getting to the bottom of this vision that Revan received, we may stave off a repeat of the calamities that we have good evidence to believe exist. The people of this city originally aren't here. They disappeared.
It certainly does tickle the imagination to wonder exactly what would cause them to no longer be here.
Did Revan share the details of both visions with the party, or just one? I don't remember.
You have done both, but
Okay.
but at the beginning of the previous session, or the session before that, was the first time we heard the actual words of what you heard. So we do have all the pieces now.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Felix takes some puffs of his cigar. The secrets and origin of life appear to be a bit more complicated than we understood before. I intend to uncover those secrets.
Such
And if some god wants to hoard it all to himself, well, I have no other option than to fight back.
there is a part of my mind that is concerned that our existence may be causing harm somewhere else. I hope that is not the case. But I'm assuming we'll find out.
Captain Revan, what did Kali tell you about your visions?
Fortunately, she didn't have much to add about the visions. It was more me filling her in on the details. She did tell me that Naruya would be able to know where I was. So, should they need to reach us again, they'll be able to find us.
Did she explain how they can find you?
Their non-ways and the magic within the priestess enables them to find one such as myself.
Is he being deceived? Are you on purpose not telling me something?
Is he? He is.
Yes.
He is being deceitful.
Well, why don't we roll some insight and other
That's
checks?
where,
Deception.
that's where I'm going. Tizzle didn't believe it. Insight or investigation?
Now,
it's
does
insight.
Tizal not believe it, or does Luca not believe
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Considering
Tizzle-
Revan's track record for revealing the truth.
Correct. Tizzle doesn't believe it.
He has yet to deceive the group, though.
He
No,
has to
he
deceive, but
doesn't
is left
deceive.
out.
But he omits all the time.
He's omitted, and this is not even player talking. In character, the way you just described this sounded like you were holding something back.
No, because I
Oh,
was
the
gonna
ways.
I was gonna explain it, and then I remembered that she said to not share it, and I was like, "Crap!"
Right?
I
She said,
He said not to share it with anyone other than
but
the
the
group.
party.
"Oh, you're right."
She definitely said you could share it with us. Too bad. 17 plus 4,
Oh.
21.
21. What's your deception check, Adam?
It's less, but I want to. Okay, yeah, it's less.
All right, Tizal, you call this bullcrap.
Captain Revan, are you holding something back from us?
Only because I worry of sharing too much, and what the knowledge might do to the group. Not unlike Council and his hesitation to share the details of his past, but I will share with you that Callie said Naruya has a mirror, not unlike my compass, imbued with some type of magic. And that is how they originally knew where I was, where to find me, and how they will be able to find me again. But beyond that, her details of my visions were genuinely sparse. They didn't mean much to her, except to say that it was unusual for their goddess to reach out to someone who isn't of non-kin.
I would be cautious with how often you omit and mislead things for the party in terms of establishing trust with us. Years ago, I met a thicket of buckthorn that told me, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again." I think about that saying a lot.
Just all staring in amazement at your wisdom. Yes, like he said.
Wisdom seems to run rampant in the ground brush where you come from.
The Torn are a wise people.
Apparently.
What is even happening?
Oh my goodness.
This pleases me.
Ugh. It sounds like what we assumed was some type of intervention by a deity to give you the compass may have more of a clue as to where the item came from.
It may have come from the non-goddess, if that is potentially where they received their mirror. Perhaps that is where the compass is from as well. But the mystery remains. Why reach out to me? and not one of their own kind to fix the problems of the land.
Have you had a vision you haven't told us of yet by chance? Potentially a third?
Not yet.
He pulls out like a vision notebook. Oh yeah, dozens.
Perhaps
all
the
the
next
time.
time I'm to black out.
Speaking of blacking out, there is an experiment I would like to perform involving the object that we have previously discussed. Two things. One, I would like to acquire a set of manacles so I may properly restrain myself when attempting to read further in the future. Two, I'm curious what happens if someone else reads this journal. I realize such is a dangerous experiment, and the consequences may be fatal, but if it allows us to isolate the effects of what happens or to discover more information in this book without having to deal with a large creature, then that would be helpful. Not today. It is a suggestion and an idea for when we are outside of the city, where others won't be in danger.
You present some interesting ideas. As much as I hate to discourage this endeavor, as I think you're on a beneficial path, as someone who is both familiar with shapeshifting and has witnessed your composition in both states from an external perspective, the manacles would be difficult simply because you were so much larger in your other state. The manacles would either need to be... It would be difficult to have them be the right size. If you grew to your larger state, if they were the right size to fit on you as they currently were, you might burst out of them. I wonder if perhaps a containment strategy of some type.
A series of chains staked into the ground, perhaps?
They were magical manacles. Magic items typically have a tendency to be a one-size-fits-all sort of thing. They grow and shrink with the user.
Not a bad idea.
Or perhaps
Fortunately, magical items have been few and far between since we've come to these lands of Orin.
Indeed. Perhaps even a cave or a room that is easily sealed and secure.
What about the next section of the city? We could raise the barrier for the next section of the city. That would perhaps be a perfect solution. Certainly a large investment, but nonetheless.
Potentially. Either way, I feel like there are answers in this book that will aid us in putting together the pieces.
It certainly seems so, and if the situation arises, I would be willing to read from the book for you.
Good to know. Before we leave, I wish to visit Joan at the Smith to see how she has handled the resources we collected for her.
That is one of my errands I intend to run.
Perhaps we shall meet southwest in a couple of hours to investigate the beacon.
Is that the most pressing matter for us at this time?
Do we have any pressing matters?
I'm not sure.
We didn't necessarily come to a conclusion on our whole what is the goal for the party conversation.
I feel that's a conversation we should have before we part ways.
Are we interested in recovering the key to the heart of the world? The hammer.
Are we certain that is the key?
It is an important piece of the puzzle, as far as we know.
For the most part, if what Revan said and thought of with his compass and trying to gain access into the city, it led us to the hammer.
Whether or not the hammer is the step before entering the city or not is another question. But it seems necessary.
Agreed.
When Felix is talking important flavor thing, he takes his cigar out and holds it, and the little homunculus comes up with its pincers and grabs the cigar and holds it for him while he talks.
That's great.
Amazing.
I love it. I love
Felix, I have. It's hard not to notice your small companion. Is that a new addition to your arsenal? Or
It
something more?
certainly is. It's an important. As you know, I've been trying to study how to use alchemite. And as you know, my armor is powered by the blue alchemite. He points at the belt buckle that has the glowing blue alchemite. And I've been trying to figure out if maybe the green alchemite is a better source of energy.
I would be wary of using the life force of other creatures to power a means for you to gain more power. But it may have very practical applications. I trust you
Certainly
to use it
does.
responsibly.
it. Perhaps it might be worth having another discussion with the Magister or someone else who might know about to determine if the other beacons required green alchemite.
That is my intention for visiting the Southwest Beacon. If I wasn't clear with that, I apologize.
How much green alchemite do we have?
I have none.
Felix just looks at the scorpion.
I believe we had 3 pieces total.
We can
We
we
should
can
get
find
more.
more.
We should get more first before we go exploring any other barriers.
You do
Well,
realize. Wait, do you mean empty alchemite?
Empty alchemite that we turn green? Or fine
That
green?
requires the death of another, does it not?
Felix kind of just grins. There seems to be a lot of death in our path.
I would be more comfortable procuring more empty alchemite and having it be filled by a happenstance along the way.
I'd prefer to avoid death, unless absolutely necessary. I don't fancy myself a killer.
Second question. How much raw alchemite do we have?
All of my raw alchemite turned into green alchemite when we were underground, so I don't have any.
The answer is we don't have any, but I do have another experiment I'm going to be conducting. I'd like to find a way we can carry raw alchemite without unwanted life force getting into it. We want to make it green when we want green alchemite.
A
Interesting.
method to prevent alchemite from turning green, even when in the proximity of a life ending.
So this is why I want to visit... Shoot, what's her name?
Joan?
Yes. Hopefully she has some spare lead on hand, and we can make a box to keep raw alchemite in. And lead is known to prevent a lot of magical effects going through it. So that's my hypothesis, that perhaps it could also prevent the life force getting into the alchemite.
That is entirely out of my expertise, so I will trust you on such.
That's a good idea. I suppose, again, as council stated, that is not my area of expertise, is the word? Oh, interesting. We do need the raw alchemite, though. And up until now, we've procured it in the cave system and from the Magister, have we not?
Well, we do plan on going west, don't we?
I
It was
pull out
throughout
the
the caves.
yeah, I pull out the underground map that Jurgen gave us.
Okay.
I
Have
just
that
want to
tab ready.
I just want to check if we can go through the mountain to the other side. It looks like we might be able to. Okay.
All of the black dots on here represent different exits and or entrances to the cave system.
Is the one towards the middle, like, at the top of the mountain or something like that? The
No.
reason why it's kind of like it's in the middle?
It is at just the other side of the mountains.
Oh, so the exit to the west of Touchstone is on the other side of the mountains.
Correct.
What are all these
Oh.
other tunnels then?
Yeah,
Is
Felix, having resided in Touchstone most of his life, would know that exit is on the other side of the mountains.
This is
Probably
it.
never went out there, but knew that it was there.
This isn't true north, south, east, west, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Council points at Touchstone and then at the little mark. Felix, if I am reading this correctly, we have to go through the Dwarven city in order to pass through the mountain, correct?
Yes.
Are you aware of any other way through the mountain? I would rather not.
I don't think I am. I'm not, right, Spencer?
Make me just an intelligence check. Or maybe a survival check.
Oh, that's a 2. Plus.
Oh, that's not gonna
I'm
get
curious
plus
where that west
no.
highway goes.
Can I do a survival check?
No.
I was in the cave.
You're in part of the cave, sure.
I've seen stones before.
I know what mountains look like.
Oh yeah, it's a total of 3.
Man, you really cut out that part of his
Never
mind.
never left my lab a whole lot.
To your knowledge, there would be potentially other ways of getting through the mountain, but none as direct.
I imagine there's probably other ways through the mountain. Maybe, I certainly imagine the breakers have found a way to cross the mountains.
Hansel taps the westmost mimed part of the map, the one that goes all the way to the west.
Over
Do
here.
you know where this goes?
I'm afraid I've never been out there.
Yeah, that one. I am not adverse to going around or over the mountain, but I assumed through would be the most direct path.
Through would be the most comfortable path for me, I think.
You would have to pass through Touchstone, unless we decided to go exploring. Which, for wonder's sake, I do not advise.
It would be difficult, but if we prepared correctly, I could certainly find ways to navigate through.
That is potentially a lot of Umberhawks to have to fight.
Oh, at the same time, I think we determined that it was a lot of our volume that attracted them. So if we could find a way to perhaps keep my screaming under control, we might encounter fewer of them.
I suppose I can leave my drum set behind.
Every hour that you're underground, you have to make a Constitution saving throw to avoid just screaming out wonder.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
Tizal constantly speaks his true name.
Oh no!
We we don't have any way to magically produce sunlight.
No, I actually do. If we take a quieter path where I can reserve my spells for rejuvenation as opposed to attack and defense, I believe I can meter that out reasonably well. Yeah, I do have a spell that is just plain old sunlight that should be able to get me through.
So are we in agreement that we plan to go west through or around the mountains to both procure the alchemite and to find Sledge and the hammer?
I believe that is the most
Yes.
direct way to get under the city. Yeah.
Do I think a group of adventurers could get through Touchstone to the exit without a group of adventurers that doesn't consist of Felix?
That they would be able to get through to that other exit.
I gotta say goodnight. Hang on.
Do we want to take a break right here?
No. Yeah, that's fine.
We could take a break,
Alex has to say goodnight to his children.
Yeah.
and then we can come back post bedtime routine.
Look, it's a babu.
That
You say it again.
Is it a baboon?
My name is Owen.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi,
Hi,
Owen.
Hi, Owen.
Hi, Owen. He didn't hear us.
No,
He ignored.
he was so
My name is
confident.
Fine, that's true.
Wait. Luca, can you tell the story? I texted it to you.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Luca, you have
Hi.
your headset on still?
I do. Hi. I have a visitor.
So Lizzie was
Watching the stream.
watching the stream.
Oh no, what'd I say? I'm so sorry.
No, but she was trying to get Steve's attention.
Steve.
Hi.
Steve is a friend I have who he looks, I guess, vaguely like you. Crystal said,
Oh, I said, Steve's not there. Like, who do you think is Steve? And she pointed to you. And I was like, that's Luca. And she goes, whoa, wait, Luca is real?
Hi.
Because that cartoon, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell her that there's a reason you guys have never seen me swim.
Has she seen the Disney movie?
yes, she has seen it multiple times.
Nice. Funny.
All right.
That's funny.
All right, I'll be back.
Oh,
Also, my entire plan the whole time was to make sure that Alex got a crossbow.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been wanting one for so long.
all right. Be back
We can take it.
in a bit.
5 minutes.
I'll be here.
Nothing behind. Believe what I say. So here I am. Open eyes. Hoping to see what your love is for me. See the man at the heel applause, he's more than a man. Shining golden god. Oh no.
OnlyFans, I just read, is getting rid of sexually explicit content. Having never used the site, I kind of assumed that was like 90% of their business model.
It is. There's actually a very, like, if you don't mind intellectually viewing the adult entertainment industry, there's actually a very interesting mini documentary about how porn stars actually have quit the regular porn industry in droves and started their own things on OnlyFans and other platforms because of how much more money they can make. Like some of the highest paid, most popular actresses, quote unquote, that people know, they make like 10 grand a year from their stuff. And like, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. And then there's the really popular OnlyFans ladies apparently make 6 figures, some of them over $500,000 a year, from just making these little like solo videos to their fans, and like I can see why people would start to do that, but I know OnlyFans makes money off of a lot of those transactions, and so yeah, I can understand stepping away from adult stuff, but the amount of money that you make from from something so lucrative, it just seems so weird. It's like when Tumblr banned all
I was gonna say when
adult
it
stuff.
Tumblr.
Right, and then everyone went over to Twitter, and now Twitter is just making bank off of it. It's ridiculous.
So apparently
see
the
it?
ban starts October 1st and is the result of requests from banking partners and companies that handle financial transactions.
Do they state any like reasons why?
Yeah, there's something fishy there.
Yeah.
It says nudity is okay if it's, quote, consistent with the company's policy. It's not clear what that policy is, and the company did not reply to questions. OnlyFans will be sharing more information in the coming days.
What did you do at work? Just
Adam
catching the
started an
tail.
OnlyFans.
Nice. Good for you.
That's so weird. That's wow. Part of a successful business is being able to pivot to embrace a market in an obvious demand. Like, and yeah, it might be a bit shady with some adult stuff, but it's actually, from what I've read and watched in these documentaries, it's much, much safer for the women because they run everything. They don't have to do anything with anyone else. Wow.
Yeah, it mentions that it is a safer environment for them to do that.
Well, time for
It also
another
says that-
platform to take over.
Right.
Right. It says it's not available as an app via the Apple and Google stores, which ban pornography. OnlyFans has tried to distance itself from its association with porn. So I wonder if this is a move to try
It's trying
and
to get on the app
onto-
stores.
Yeah.
I mentioned to Carrie, she's like, yeah, it's dumb. They're going full Tumblr.
I just googled it. I didn't know. I still didn't understand what you were talking about until just the very last minute or so that what you said happened. And I googled OnlyFans news, and Universal Orlando tweeted so much for our OnlyFans account, and posted a picture of the globe with a black censor mark through it. Tushy Bidet said, "Following OnlyFans' example, we are no longer selling bidets."
It's like if Tinder was like, we're no longer allowing dating on our platform. Like, what?
Yeah, it's I don't know. That seems very, very weird. Since everything I've ever known about their platform, again, having never used it, but that's all.
I have heard very rarely of some musical artists actually using it, but people people
Don't
like
they use
DJ
Patreon or
Khaled,
whatever?
and I think they use whatever platform they can.
Yeah, there are other platforms to do that much better than OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like Cameo or SoundCloud or yeah. Also, Cameo is a great gift for anyone if you're ever thinking of something fun to give someone. My buddy Matt has been a huge Batman fan for most of his life. I think I
shared that video.
Someone
Yeah.
gave him a 5-minute conversation with Kevin Conroy, and he just lost his mind. Very cool.
I got my wife.
One of the top earners on Cameo is Kevin from The Office.
Really?
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Why?
Everyone loves
The
him,
Office.
and he's super available. He just does it all the time.
Yeah, The Office is a pretty popular show, and just Kevin was he was one of the best characters on that show, honestly.
Easy.
And yeah, him just being available for that.
There aren't any super A-list celebrities, but they are Lena Headey from Game of Thrones is on there. I just saw now Alton Brown. I mean, there's quite a few.
What's his price point?
Lena
Some people
Headey's-
charge Way too much.
Lena Headey is only $325. Really? That's Cersei Lannister.
Only?
Yeah,
She was
only.
on one show.
No, she's been on so much more than that.
That's one show.
The guy who played Dr. Cox from Scrubs is more expensive than her.
Kevin from The Office is $195, which I will say is more expensive than I thought it would have been.
195.
Yeah,
For how long? 5 minutes?
they vary in length.
Yeah, most of the time it's just like a message.
I got Becca one from these trash TV reality stars from a trash TV show we love. It was like $30. Easily the best investment I've ever made. We watch it monthly.
What
Wow.
show?
90 Day Fiance, utter trash television.
Never heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's on TLC, what used to stand for the Learning Channel.
I know, and it's all trash reality TV now.
History Channel, TLC, MTV, you name it. Any of those, any channel that used to have some type of content that was realistic has morphed into nothing but garbage reality shows.
It's weird. And
Yeah.
people like you
Slash.
and Becca feed into them.
Slash
It's
having a
your
few
show.
drinks and watching 90 Day Fiance is fantastic.
Ick.
We
Pass.
watched a similar one, Married at First Sight,
Mhm.
which was just a bizarre adventure into people's personal lives, and it's just like watching a car crash.
Oh, thanks.
Don't like reality TV at all, and don't watch any of it.
Oh, Carrie has a good point. Something that people guess Tumblr did, sorry, back to that thing, when they removed all the adult content, was that having that kind of safe space for that content and those people just totally blew up their revenue and their engagement to draw in investors. And as soon as that was sealed in, they kicked everyone off of the platform. And she hypothesizes that OnlyFans might have done the same thing. Create the safe space, foster this group, draw in tons of people, tons of money, and now that they have investors involved, kick them all off the platform, change markets. Interesting.
But how do they imagine that it's going to be worth the same amount when you pivot from what made them the money that it made?
Well, if you look at Tumblr, it worked for them because when they had the porn on their platform, it sold for 1.1 billion, and
Yeah.
after they kicked that all off the platform, it sold for 3 million. So it's a guaranteed money-making scheme.
Wow.
Big brain move.
Ugh.
I mean, we've
Spencer, were you listening
Nope.
when you weren't? Oh, so
I haven't heard any
OnlyFans.
of this, but
OnlyFans just announced that they're banning all sexually explicit content.
yep. Yeah, we already talked about it in another Discord.
Yeah.
And by we
Google-
already talked about it, I mean I witnessed other people talk about it because I have nothing to contribute. Other than I know what OnlyFans is.
That's all you need to know. Did you know Google is going to stop doing search engine work?
Well, that was my whole point in sharing when I was reading through headlines, because my understanding of what that site is that it's all
That
sexually explicit content. I didn't know it was for other things. All I've ever heard about is that that's what people go there for.
I'm glad that this is all on stream.
have we been
I will.
streaming this whole time?
Yeah, you've been streaming this whole time.
Oh,
we haven't said anything horrible. We're just
we've
talking
been
about
tasteful
news.
about it.
But people tune in for Dungeons and Dragons, not
Listen, I didn't link my OnlyFans.
porno and
Spencer.
opinions.
I didn't react the way this is gonna hurt. That this is hurting my bottom line, Spencer.
My subscribers. No.
My community.
There's an OnlyFans channel for hurting your bottom line, Luca.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Hope this
Can we get
wasn't
back
marked
to Dungeons and
PG.
Dragons, please.
Yes, please. Right now, my brain is stuck in a loop trying to imagine what Luca's OnlyFans screen handle would be, and
I mean-
it's going nowhere good. So we need to go
I'll-
somewhere else.
I'll DM it to you.
Man, this session has been on point. we got wisdom shrubs and
All Roads is the name of the session, so I don't know what you want from me.
We should just have a podcast where we discuss all things terrible.
that's a good name for a podcast. All things terrible. All right. Once we're done eating, Council's gonna go visit Joe with Felix, I imagine.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are splitting up. Who's all going where? Those two going to Joan.
Revan heads west.
Revan leaves the party. Fantastic.
He's got the compass. He gives one of
Last we
these,
saw him.
takes off.
I'll join you. And Wander enjoys visiting Joan as well.
Tizal's gonna head to what is his face? The guy that has the ledger.
Oh, the doc guy.
Lex Crowley.
Yes, Lex Crowley. He wants to go talk to Lex Crowley.
Revan asks if you do you share where you're going with the group,
Does everyone share where they're going?
Chisel? Well, I'm
Yeah.
only concerned. with
Everyone
Chisel.
just quietly stands up and walks out.
I already told
Running
you
away.
guys
Just at the same time, just
where
Revan-
Felix is going and
Revan's
why.
doing
Yeah,
the
he
John
was-
Travolta.
He would share.
Alex, I
Would you
just
like
realized you're wearing
company
real pants.
to
No.
on your way to the docks?
what was that, Spencer?
I said I just realized you're wearing real pants and not sweatpants, and I felt sad for you.
Don't
I'm-
those pants have ties though?
Yeah, these are my old Renaissance Festival pants.
Those aren't real pants.
They're not actually full pants. They go down halfway down the shin.
They're Ren pants.
Oh,
They're
I assume those
rants.
are what you wore to work today.
Oh no. As soon as I get home from work, I just Bruce Almighty my clothes off.
Into
I
full
thought
Ren
they
fair
were like
guard.
khakis or something. I was like, what's wrong with you? Change. We're taking another break so Alex can get comfortable.
I
Please
like
don't tell the
khakis.
character. Please don't tell the player character whose character transforms into a monster to change. I don't know if that's going to trigger Darth Council or not.
So reads from the journal in sweatpants.
The sweatpants stretch to encase
There we
your,
go.
your full size. They're like the Hulk's pants.
Perfect.
Very stretchy.
Revan? Sure, you can come with. I'm curious to read the ledger and see if any new people have come into town that might be of interest. I don't think it's going to be particularly fruitful, but I have no interest in visiting Joan, and I'm killing time.
I'm also curious. I assume we haven't left yet. What happened to Shepherd's Pie? We may encounter something along the way.
After we visit Joan, I do plan on visiting the beacon, so if anyone would like to meet us there, they can.
The beacon we've already secured, or the one to the southwest?
The one to the southwest. To study it.
Yes.
I'll actually meet you at the beacon, as I don't know that it's our place to view this ledger or not.
I think for what we've done with this town, it would be strange for them to turn away a request, but as you will.
Revan starts walking to the beacon.
Okay. Revan, you find that you mostly take a road that you have not yet traveled throughout this city, which is this direct road to the southwest from where the Wolf and Hound is down to the beacon. And you wait at the beacon. Felix and Council. And Wander, correct?
And Wander.
And Wander. You make your way towards Jones.
As we walk, Wander straights up a bit of a conversation with Council. I've been having some thoughts about the particular the book that you have. A couple of thoughts. One, I'm wondering if there would ever be a way to intentionally weaponize the book. Perhaps if there was a situation where we needed someone immensely large and powerful, if we could have them, yourself perhaps, read the book at a particular juncture in time where if you were a mindless rage demon, the only way to point that rage would be at something that we wanted out of our way?
That is surprisingly pragmatic of you, Wanda. I have thought of such practical applications of the transformation. Are we by anyone right now? Is it quiet right now?
Assuming you just left the tavern, no, there's not really anybody in this part of the city yet.
Okay.
Every once in a while, you might pass by an odd person or two, but that's it.
When Council is fairly certain that no one is around while looking up at Wanda, he kind of pushes a thumb under his mask and balaclava and lifts it up to show the part of his face that's missing. I assume because his skin is still gone, right?
Yes, yeah. Wander, you see basically this like gross, kind of pussy mess underneath.
Oh, is it still like infected? Because that
Still
doesn't really
healing,
happen.
yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's only been 2 or 3 days, and it's a lot of skin.
I just assumed it would be kind of scabby at this point.
And Felix is here too.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, he shows both of them. Unfortunately, that is not something that occurs without a toll.
The
To
thing
answer
you turn into also seems like a different being, not Council.
From what you have told me, that is true. It does not hold any of my personality traits. So to answer your question, Wanda, if it does get dire enough, I would absolutely consider doing such. Assuming the group could adapt to the situation. But it would have to be exceptionally dire.
It would indeed. I will ask another question, which may be a bit more personal. Is the majority of the scarring that you have as a result of reading the book, or are there other endeavors you've undertaken that have caused some of that?
The word you have chosen is majority. My answer is yes. I have been fighting for decades, as was my position within the city. But most of the damage caused to my body was from previous curious incursions into the journal.
Interesting. I will admit to you now that I am terribly curious what would happen if I were to read the book. It would be fascinating to see what a Floral Torn would look like in a similar state, and perhaps what would happen, or if it would even react with someone who weren't. And Wander is being discreet. If there's anyone walking by, he's not going to say the word elm
Right,
where they could hear it. But
what does an elm here? Get him!
That is to say that it's a curiosity of my own would be an understatement. I can only guess as to what would happen.
perhaps be a bit more direct. I'm working on overcoming my fear, and I would very much like to do some reading practice with you. Perhaps starting with a different book initially, but
that would be wise. I will put together some note cards. Flashcards, there you go.
Wonder doesn't really smile, but like his branches rustle a little bit more. It might be justified by the breeze. Or the lack of breeze.
The glow within Wander that kind of emanates out through the cracks in his bark and through his eyes gets a little bit brighter.
Part of me is curious if I am but a shell, a vessel for something greater, and the me that I believe I am to be today may not exist in the future. My mind is also plagued with other thoughts, but such are common obstacles for my day-to-day existence.
Like a caterpillar or an acorn, perhaps.
Similar. With slightly more.
Murderous intent.
Either way, Council keeps walking.
At this point, you do notice that there are, as you have kind of reached the more thoroughfare that is from the harbor traditionally to the east, to the academy to the west, there are more people here. So they're appropriate time to maybe let such conversations die.
If I were another character, Council would be like, man, isn't it great we erected that barrier? Oh, man, that fight was great. Glad everyone's super safe now because of us. But Council's not such a character. Also, you're muted, Luke.
I was saying Tizal actually says that to no one as he's walking to the docks.
He's like, hooray for me. Oh, yeah.
Battle of the Beacon, we were victorious. Just by himself.
You actually, Felix, Council, Wander, just make me as you are passing by people, there does seem to be a bit more there's more activity than there was earlier in the day when you passed through town, but there also seems to be a different feeling in the air. It's hard to put your finger on exactly. If anyone wanted to give me either a perception check or an insight check, just kind of into the general populace around them. Otherwise, if you don't care, or your character wouldn't care, you don't have to.
People are Council's jam. Dirty 20.
Nice.
10 for Wander.
Okay. And was that an insight or perception?
Insight.
Perception.
7.
7 with insight or perception? Perception. Wander and Felix, you notice that there are more people and kind of more hustle and bustle at this point in time. You, Council, you pick up on some of what's going on around you, and you begin listening in on some of the conversations. And while you're not able to quite piece together like a complete narrative because people are passing you by so quickly, there's something between concern and panic in the general air. Not like world-ending panic, but just maybe confusion.
Okay.
That you're picking up on.
Is it about a specific topic? Like, is it something fresh because of the beacon, the barrier, or is that they're talking about something that's just arrived at the docks, or?
You pick up on that it is something with a dirty 20. You use the dirty 20, natural 20.
Dirty 20.
With the dirty 20, you pick up on that it is something to do with the barrier.
Okay.
And the harbor.
And the harbor.
Yes. Tizal's gonna have his solo fight up here in just a little bit.
Council pauses for a second. I've been listening to some passing conversations, and I believe we may have omitted something in our plan. Not all of the city was underwater when these barriers were created. And now that this barrier has been turned back on, I would be surprised if ships were able to leave and enter the harbor.
You mean if all the barriers, including the ones... Oh.
No, this
Oh.
barrier that we are in currently. If we remember the map, it's a complete shape. And if the dome assumes that the wall is there underwater, then we'll have to hear back from Tizzle.
Make an excellent point.
Council's is like, ah!
I don't see why it's. I think you're absolutely correct.
We may need to visit the Magister before we leave.
Tizzle has a flight speed of 75 feet, by the way.
Okay.
Around, just in case anyone's keeping track. He's flying straight to the harbor.
Now we might learn something when studying the beacon that perhaps we could employ in fixing this problem. Maybe there's some. I imagine. Wonder if did they always have the beacon active, or was it an emergency situation? And if it was always active, maybe there's some sort of control. Because I imagine there's a dock somewhere in this city. It's deep underwater at this point, but they probably had to deal with the same issue.
I have nothing but conjecture at this point. We'll find out. Okay, well.
You continue on your walk to Joan, which, when you arrive, you don't hear the normal sounds of working or a pickaxe or a hammer or anything like that. It is very quiet at Joan's.
Is she here? Council kind of pokes his head in.
Perception check.
14 plus 5, 19.
19. Joan is not here. And you find that most of her things are also missing. The wagon that you guys had kind of procured together is gone. Her pickaxe is gone. She is gone. You do find, however, that there's still the hole in the roof, and there's still the piles of armor, which you can see at this point. Actually, the different armor she has sorted back out into the different piles. So you'll find there's kind of breastplates over there. There's some more shin guards and leg coverings and stuff over on this side. And so she has them split out around her working area / living room. But she is nowhere to be found.
Assuming that her pickaxe and wagon are missing, I can only guess that she went on another mining trip with some of the guards, as mentioned before.
Is the shop unlocked?
Yeah, her house has no door.
Okay, all right, that is right.
It's just a curtain or something, isn't it?
There's not even a curtain. It's just
Oh.
an opening.
Felix is gonna.
Yeah, none of the homes here really have, unless somebody has put something up. It is almost all just open doors, open windows, very plain.
Felix is gonna go in and look around and see if she has some lead, for the materials.
Sure, go make me a perception check.
16.
16. You can find actually. So, inside the house, there's the main living room area. There's stairs almost directly to the left that go up to some kind of a living space in a loft. And then behind that, there's a small, what you'd think of as a kitchen or kitchenette. There's a small kind of bar counter height piece of stonework, and on that stonework you can see that she actually has a couple little bits of different minerals that are split out into little piles. You can see like this is clearly some like aluminum scrapings over here. She's got some other little bits, and you do find just a very, very, very modest pile of what you would perceive as lead.
Okay. I think using it. I'm assuming the forge. Does she keeps it on, right? Like, because that's typically what you do.
The forge hasn't been built yet.
Oh, she hasn't built it yet.
No.
When lead won't require a forge because it's not very. You can melt it pretty easily.
Yeah.
Can I make a box with Smith's tools? Or
With
like
just Smith's tools?
yeah. I mean,
I
I also
think
have Tinker's tools.
I mean, you would have to find some way of creating heat. You have to find some way of like molding it, melting it.
I'll take the lead, and next time we like make camp and have a fire,
Okay.
I'll see if we can just melt a very crude container.
Okay.
To just put a small piece of alchemite in to conduct this experiment.
Okay.
I'll write a little note to Joan, just say like,
Stole your lead thing.
took some lead, might pay you back later.
Okay. Cool. Make me a just investigation check.
Six. Oh no, it's 10. Investigation is int.
Okay. The little like piles of stuff you find around, so that like a little bit of copper, aluminum, lead, whatever. It's not like powdered or anything. They're almost like filings, scrapings, and like small scraps of something. And you just make a note of that. So now you have, we'll say, a small, like basically like handful of lead bits.
Okay.
Anything else you guys would like to do while you're here?
Head to the beacon.
Okay.
The beer
Tis
can.
all. Beer can. Tis all. You quickly fly towards the harbor, and immediately upon taking off to the sky, you can see to where the harbor is, and you can see that there is a traffic jam of boats, essentially. And you can see there are a number of people near the harbor.
Much more condensed amount of people.
Yeah.
Overcrowded. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it crowded quite yet. They're probably still able to stay socially distanced.
Uh-oh, what are you telling me? Not another pandemic.
So help me.
Not again.
Flag.
Not again.
We have the Delta variant in mind.
I smashed Tizol's phylactery.
No!
No! Tis all. They found out you were the big bad.
Oh, man. What am I going to do with these wings now? Okay, he keeps flying.
Bird Lich. All right. Yes, you fly your way to the harbor. You're able to find a safe place to set down on the ground. I imagine when you do, people, of course, look at you very strangely and kind of clear a spot, like a helicopter coming in, and they let you plop down on the ground.
Yeah, when he lands, he looks at everyone, goes, kind of like flicks his head up, acknowledging them coolly, and walks confidently toward where he last saw Lex Crowley. He's
Okay.
spoken to him before.
Yeah, you make your way down to like where the actual harbor is, and like the actual the pier, and you find the desk where Lex Crowley is normally sitting, with the umbrella and the ledger and everything, and you can see that there's a large crowd of people, and they're all kind of gathered around him. asking him questions. Kind of, it's kind of tense.
Can I hang back and listen?
Okay. Make
Yeah.
me a perception check. Anything in particular you're listening for, or just?
I mean, it sounds like tense conversations where a lot of people are trying to get information. I'm trying to listen to maybe like what the theme of the complaints are.
Okay. Yeah.
Perception?
Yep.
13.
13. You are able to piece together from the various shouting and questions being asked and everything that this is directly related to the barrier, to ships not being able to leave, ships also not being able to come in, and asking and kind of badgering Lex in his new elevated position what he plans to do, or if the council has any plans for what to do in the situation.
Okay. So, forgive my misunderstanding. So the edge of the of where the docks are.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like the lip of the beacon to the north,
Mm-hmm.
like that, all the way to the right of that. Does the barrier cover? Yeah, like that, yeah, is that where the barrier covers all the way out there?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. You did say it goes over the water. So ostensibly, any boat that was near the city is now trapped, and all new boats cannot get in.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he would kind of Assassin's Creed his way through the crowd and go up to Lex.
You kill Lex.
Cool.
Murdering people?
I jump off a tall building into a haystack.
Nobody sees them.
Do you have a sweet hidden blade too?
That's my beak.
They hide inside your feathers.
I put a tube sock on my beak. I just go hunk.
The people let you through as again they see that you are an oddity, and while they are still kind of riled up, they allow you appropriate room to approach.
Hello, Mr. Crowley.
And you see Lex, and he is standing at his desk, but he's not sitting in his desk. He's standing at it. The ledger is wide open. He's got his little like ink. What's that called? Ink pot.
Inkwell.
Inkwell. There you go. Thank you. And everything on the desk, and he is standing there trying to explain to people. And when he sees you approach, he does say, "Oh, great, another. What?"
Do you understand what happened?
Yes, I see the beacon. Thank you. Or this accursed thing.
Were you not informed that this would be happening?
We knew it would be happening, but we didn't know exactly what would happen.
Fair. None of us knew exactly where the barrier would cover. We did not know that it would have ships. I'm assuming they are angry they cannot leave port.
Turns around and gestures out to the open sea, and some of the other people next to you are like, yeah, well, hey, we can't get out of here. What's going on here? Hey.
He stares at them blankly.
Give me an intimidation check.
3?
They're not backing down.
Yeah.
Lex just says, yeah, clearly you can see the problem.
Yes.
I would like to meet with the Magister immediately to get this resolved. Unfortunately, I am a bit tied up here at the moment.
We can speak to him on your behalf and let him know of these troubles.
And who are you to be speaking? What was your name again?
Tizol is what the people here call me.
Oh, I see.
We have been working with the Archmagister to do some services around our...
Oh, yes, that is right. I recall this. He made mention of you and your party.
We were the ones that activated the beacon to generate the barrier.
Does it sound like Luca's underwater to anybody else?
Yeah, a little bit of that was a bit muffled.
It started off fine, and then it just kind of goes...
Probably this mic. Maybe me whispering is all.
Oh, there. Yeah, now it sounds better.
Yeah.
I think probably just whispering.
Yeah.
Don't be so quiet. Your daughter
Okay.
doesn't need to go to bed.
Did you get what I said or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay. We were the party. We were on an assignment from the Magister to activate the beacon, and we created the barrier.
Oh, fantastic. So, that means that you clearly are the best one to speak to him about this. As you would know how to potentially deactivate it.
Correct. We will need to coordinate because the barrier is keeping the non out of the city. This may be an inconvenience for some, but this is protection for others.
Certainly ruined my day.
Your day is the least of my worries, Mr. Crowley, with all due respect.
It was not a very respectful thing to say. I do not accept it.
Oh, I was under the impression that you say that and the thing you say isn't disrespectful. So I'm learning common.
Please, go speak with the High Magister.
Before I go, you know of all travelers in and out of the city, yes?
Yes.
Only by boat?
Yes.
Do you have anyone that keeps track of anyone that comes in potentially by not boat or by air?
I know the only people who would come in besides us would be the Dwarven.
I'm looking for a Knightaran who has given a name of Shepherd Spy to the Magister. Do you know of him?
Yes, I did hear about such a person,
Aran,
creature,
Aran,
individual.
Aran.
What do you care to know?
He and another companion named Callie, who I believe you were already asked of once if she was in the ledger, and she was not.
Yes.
They were meant to assist us with the beacon, and he never came. And the mission turned a little rough, so we were curious to know where he may be and who he is, because we do not know.
Unfortunately, I am not aware of his whereabouts.
Do you know who may know of his whereabouts?
If the High Magister is unaware, I am not sure of anyone else who would know.
Okay. I will go regroup with my party, and then we will speak to the Magister and let him know of this issue.
Thank you. I will return to being pestered by the general populace.
Do you want me to scare them on the way off?
That would be very helpful, yes.
Okay. He turns and shrieks and then flies off.
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
Yeah.
I was imagining you just saying your name several times.
Yeah, he's speaking his true name and flying off. Oh man, he's not very intimidating. A 6.
With advantage?
Yeah, I rolled a 2 and a 5.
Oh my god, his voice cracks.
Starts coughing.
Spits up a worm, takes off.
And as he's flying away, he says, "If anyone asks, this was cool."
People look more confused than anything else when he departs.
But they'll never forget it.
That's probably true, yeah. They go back to shrieking at Lex about various things.
He heads to the beacon.
Okay. All right, Revan, so you get to the beacon first. Anything you want to do there? Just hang around.
I start looking around to see if there's a similar thing as to the cup that held the alchemite. This one's on land, right? Yeah, it's
Yes.
southwest. Yeah, he just starts searching the tower, looking for a similar spot to put alchemite.
So you make your way to the beacon in the southwest corner of the city, which when you get to that corner, you do notice that there's a similar door to the one that you had seen at the other tower, and it does open inward into the city, not inward into the tower, and you are able to open it. And you make your way into the tower. It is identical in nature to the other tower that was built. And you see that the little medicine cabinet sized swinging door has been closed, and you can see kind of brutally attached to the thing there is a lock of some sort that's been attached to it.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll search through the rest of the tower for anything that seems interesting or out of place.
Yeah, make me just a general perception check. You're looking things over.
12.
12?
Mhm.
Really anything to see in the tower. Again, it is identical to the other one with the doors up top. With this kind of spiraling staircase. Nothing of note. You do see walking along the wall, however, from here back northward towards the Magister's Academy, you can see that there is a guard who is some ways off.
Can I tell? Does he seem to be patrolling, or is he does he seem worried at all, or moving abnormally?
Doesn't seem worried. From what you have seen of the guards, this is pretty standard.
Okay.
They don't have many that patrol the walls of the city. So this is just kind of like a chance seeing one before he again walks northward out of view.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just hang out in the top of the tower, checking things out then until the rest of the group comes.
Okay.
Enjoying
Sure.
the view.
Okay. Maybe an hour or so behind you, not Tizal, the other three, Wander Council and Felix, show up at the base of the tower as well. And then Tizal probably not far behind them.
I assume we basically see the exact same thing you just described to Revan. It's the same, It's locked, it's closed.
Yep,
Okay.
It looks identical. And again, you can see that this is a very crudely attached lock to this.
Can we see
small-
can we see the beam of light coming out from this beacon?
Yes, you can see that the beam of light has just kind of interspersed with the actual barrier itself.
Yeah.
So whereas before it would have just been like a single point of light, now that point of light has kind of fanned out into
Right.
the barrier.
Does it have a color?
It's a greenish clear in nature,
Okay.
not like the Bodify green,
Yeah.
but translucent.
Similar to what the one we put the green alchemite in looked like when it started to form the barrier.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It may be safe to assume that there's green alchemite here.
That does appear to be a safe guess.
We wish to activate another beacon.
Unfortunately, from what I've been hearing discussed around town from our walk, the barrier may be keeping ships stuck within and preventing new ships from arriving. Council kind of glances at Tizol for confirmation.
Am I there?
You showed up very soon after they did.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I was there. I thought I was on the way. Yeah, Crowley is pissed. Oh, there are a lot of angry people who are stuck in the harbor. They cannot get out. Ships cannot get in.
Understandably so. Unfortunately, the only method I can think of to lower the barrier would be to remove the alchemite, but that would make the entire district vulnerable.
And I would like to add that when I went to retrieve the crossbow, it certainly appeared that a force of Non are gathering. When I was down below fighting with Tizal, we saw that there was a rather large encampment of Non, and after a battle, it appears they were notified, and so there are quite a few Non poking and probing at the barrier as it stands, so any plans moving forward will need to factor that in as well.
I told Ground we would speak to the Magister about this problem. We cannot keep folks captive forever, but they can wait a little bit.
Either they will have to move the docks, or someone will have to discover a way to control the barrier in a more delicate fashion, rather than simply on or off. I'm curious if the bells we never rang have anything to do with this barrier.
Can I?
Well, if it turns them off, then we don't want to let an army of Non inside.
It might make them stronger. We don't know unless we ring one of the bells.
We've no way of knowing whether it will be in our favor or against us if the bell is to be rung. Or rather, there's only one way to know.
Either way, I doubt there's... Assuming there are no controls or objects we have yet to discover at this tower, we should return to the Magister before heading west.
What do we hope to do with the Magister? We just spoke with him.
We have to inform him of the Non-army in case they decide to lower the barrier to let the ships out.
Sorry, I think I missed it. Does this barrier seem like it's been activated by what we just did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the barrier did not exist before you lit the different beacons.
Got it. So the beacon that we lit to the note. Got it.
The collaboration between the beacon you lit and the one that Callie lit out in the ocean are what completed the trapezoid.
Right, that's right. I forgot Callie lit that other one.
And in fact, in our party, Tizal probably would have witnessed the closest correlation in following Callie seeing the barrier come up. And
Yep.
Council seems to be rubbing his chin and looking up at the barrier in a bit of thought.
You said the door was locked, but there's a guard there
What?
to get into the beacon tower.
No, the door is open.
Oh, okay,
It's
No,
a
the
little
guard
like,
was
cabinet
was
thing, right?
walking along the top of the wall.
gotcha.
The little like alchemite power toolbox thing. That's what's locked, right? Yeah.
The crude toolboxes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's head in and see what we can learn.
Head in?
To the beacon. Are we
Oh,
just
I thought-
standing outside of it, or are we
I thought
standing?
we were inside. Yeah.
It sounds like we went in.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we saw the same alchemite color coming from the lockbox shelf thingy going up, right?
Well, you can't see in there. That
From
is,
the outside.
as far as you can see, is sealed. But yeah, outside the barrier itself is green.
Okay, well, first I'm going to try to open up the lock on my own, just with my lockpicking.
Okay, go for it.
Chaotic good.
Interesting. You think he's good?
We all know Revan's the evil one in the party.
Raw evil.
I'm pretty sure it's Wander.
Let's see.
That's why he wants to get rid of all the books.
Hmm. No knowledge for you.
So that is 17.
17.
Yep.
Yeah. So actually, this crude lock, it's very much like a padlock. You are able to pick quite easily.
Nice.
And when you do, the door is able to swing free.
And what's inside?
Inside, you see the very identical to what you
I
what
didn't see
Revan
it.
saw, what Revan saw and Callie saw at the other tower, which is essentially a shaft which goes up to the top of the tower and then downward into darkness as far as you can see. And in the middle of this shaft, there is basically like two kind of metal arms that are coming out of the stonework and form like a little bowl where there is nestled a piece of green alchemite. You do know that the alchemite isn't actually like resting on the metal. But it is like almost levitating above it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that is what you all see.
Slightly side note, this track is from Dark Souls 2, and I absolutely love it.
I've heard a
As soon
few
as
Dark Souls tracks.
As soon as it came out, my mind was like, "You like this?"
Yup.
That's what happens whenever I hear the Divinity's soundtrack. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
When Rivallon comes on, like,
Is this from 2?
yeah, this is Majula. This is the
Yep.
the town. There is a paranoid part of my brain that sometimes leads credence to my survival. And that part of my brain right now, while potentially completely unfounded, is thinking that it's greatly convenient that a large population of people are enclosed in a barrier powered by green alchemite. And we have met people that are greatly invested in the life force of people in this world. I'm not saying we have any reason to expect anything bad, but if it were to come up that this would be a large area to reclaim such life, such is a possibility.
Are you saying you are worried that the barrier might be used to steal the life of those it is protecting?
Perilous is that which cannot be predicted, and the mechanisms of the city are beyond me. I cannot help but not only trust them to provide safety, but to also be a form of bait or containment. We don't know what happened to the previous denizens.
What was the reason for us to activate the barrier in the first place?
According to the Magister, it was to keep the Narn out.
But it could mean to keep the inhabitants of Oren in.
Were
way.
the non such an issue that they needed a barrier over the entire city to protect its inhabitants?
Well, any city of this size needs a defense.
One of our first missions was rebuilding a wall in which was keeping them out, and they were attacking.
Aye.
I think this
But
is
there
a lot
are
of
also soldiers here.
it's a lot of trouble for the original architects of this city to make a trap like this.
It is unlikely. As I said, it is a small but loud paranoid part of my brain. But something to consider.
The other
One
part
thing
that
of this side. Good.
Sorry. The other part of this that intrigues me is this particular section of barrier that we've erected has beacons on all four corners. If we assume that the other 5 sections are capable of similar barriers, does that mean that removing alchemite from one of the beacons would disable the barrier for the 2 various portions of the city? Meaning that it might not necessarily be a barrier that was meant to be a portion of the city, but perhaps just a mechanism to facilitate distributing the alchemite in order to build barriers in smaller pieces, and that they were all meant to be erected in unison.
That is a fair conclusion.
I think I got a smirk out of Spencer with that one.
I'm holding back, being like, Wander gets inspiration. Holy cow.
Have we traveled
Smart treat.
southeast along the wall to see if there could be another beacon?
I think
Did we see one when we went out to build the wall?
Oh,
we didn't go that far, did we? We
We
saw
didn't
the
go that
bell
far.
tower.
We saw the bell tower, which is by the wall, right? It was before
Right.
the wall.
Yeah.
You saw the cathedral,
Yeah.
or the temple, which is at the intersection of these two. Oh, hold on here. Right here. Which is at the same point as the center of this one. So no,
Yeah.
you did not see another beacon in this area.
Either way, I enjoy this conjecture, and I believe it gives us fuel for the mind as we go forward. But we should perhaps walk while we are talking.
Are we on the inside of Orin right now at the barrier at the southwest?
Yep.
We didn't go out into the green area.
No.
Okay.
Let me have a look here, and I'm just gonna kind of study the whole mechanism. I want to see can I tell where energy is flowing, as far as coming up from this hole and going into the barrier, or is it not flowing, or is it going both ways, or into the,
Yep. Make me an investigation check.
While he's doing that, is there a stick or a piece of grass or a weed or something nearby?
Not inside here, no.
Even if I walk outside and kind of poke around a bit.
Where would you like to walk outside?
I don't know. Around the tower.
I got 14.
Are you going back into the northern area? Are you trying to go into the southeastern area?
Oh, just like 10 feet outside of where we are. Just looking around. Not walking anywhere.
In looking in the northern area? I'll get to my point. If you try to open the door that leads out to the southeastern area, it is locked. It cannot be opened.
Oh no, yeah, I meant the top, the north part. Sorry.
Looking up there, no. There are lots of like rocks and small gravel,
Hmm.
but there's no grass.
Okay.
That in all of the time that you have been in that part of Orin, you have not seen any greenery. The
Okay.
greenest thing you've seen is Wander.
Okay. Thank you.
And what did you get? Sorry.
14.
14. You can see, looking at this, two things. One, the metal holding arms, bowl, whatever, in the middle of this shaft is not special in any way. It has no like conduits. It's literally, it's just like pieces of metal that are attached to the stonework. So you can see that none of the like energy from the alchemite or anything is flowing through there. That's the first thing. The second thing is you can see, or you can detect, that all of the energy for this that is coming up through here, through this beacon, is coming from below. It is coming up the shaft to the beacon.
So, predictably, the energy will be coming from below, something deep below. And then I'm gonna try to figure out if they're like kind of features that maybe could be used to control it or something like that.
Is it like
Sorry.
a power knob?
Sorry, I think that my internet died for a second. What did you say?
Like I'm gonna like search the area for any other sort of like control panel or anything like that. Anything that would be related to control of the beacon or something
Sure.
like that.
Make me another perception check.
Does Wander
Perception or
have?
investigation?
You can choose. I'll let you choose.
I'll choose the one that uses intellect.
Does Wander have any twigs or leaves sticking out of him?
I imagine so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a rude question.
Wander, may I ask a personal question?
May I tear off your fingernails?
I felt like plucking a hair.
Certainly.
May I have a twig or leaf from your head, or wherever is convenient for you? I am not sure for other living races losing hair, kind of gestures at Revan, is a common occurrence. I wasn't sure if losing leaves was something that was a big deal or not. If it is, then ignore me.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm reminded of the time a patch of lichen told me never ascribe to malice, what can be better described with incompetence. And I will apply that to this situation. Deeply offensive, but you certainly didn't know.
I apologize for any offense I caused. I will heed. I'm glad you could heed the words of the lichen. Alright, sorry, I'm back to Felix.
I got a 15.
15? Nothing that you can find. You recall in a prior conversation within this group where someone ascribed the alchemite to being more of like a jump start for something, and you think that that might be more accurate.
Yeah.
What did you need it for, Council?
I wanted to see what would happen if we put something organic in the path of the beacon.
Revan reaches into his bag, cuts a couple foot chunk off of his rope, and hands it to Consul.
Is the rope? Oh, I guess it's organic. Yeah,
It's hempen rope. Yeah. And it's thick cord, so it has some rigidness.
Am I to understand that I cannot ring a bell that was made to be rang, but you guys can stick things into the alchemite willy-nilly?
Azal makes a salient point.
Y'all racist.
The fair assumption is I trust myself more than you, Tizzle.
Rude.
If this may be, Amber, you are right though. This may be an unwise decision.
No, do it.
I say,
I'm all about it. But I'm
reach your
gonna
arm
ring the
out.
bell when you're done.
Place the rope within and see what happens. Nothing. It won't be the same as ringing a mystery bell. It's a piece of rope into magical light.
Yeah, totally.
All right, a quick
That's
save.
definitely safer.
Yeah.
F5,
Okay, yep.
and then I'm going to take a very small part of the rope, kind of like separate it, like frayed a bit,
Okay.
and then just like kind of the beam right above the alchemite, like where it's going up, and just kind of, meh, like just very slightly, like a finger over a candle, you know.
Just going to like drop it in, go to just put
I'm holding it, but I'm kind of like wafting it over briefly.
Okay. So the now that you are looking more closely at the pillar of energy that's coming out of here, it's not like coming from the stone, and it's not like only the size of the stone. It fills up like this whole pillar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
I
this
thought it was like
beam
going
is now-
into the stone and then out through the stone.
Oh no.
Okay, so it's a full width of the like the chimney, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I just kind of briefly, yeah,
Get it over there and wiggle it around. Sure.
yeah,
Nothing happens.
that's it. Council wanted to see if it would burn, or like the barrier would go down, or singe, or summon nightmarish monster. I don't know.
Council transforms.
Damn it!
Cool, you did your thing. Now the bell.
Oh yeah, I put my journal in. Just kidding.
Revan reaches his hand towards the beam, like putting hands towards the fire. Is he able to feel anything or detect anything as he gets close?
Do you put your hand in it?
Not
just
yet.
close?
Just coming up right to it.
Coming up right to it, you're not able
Yep.
to feel anything. There's almost an imperceptible, like, rushing, like, wind that accompanies this flow of energy, but that's it.
Ever seen anything like this anywhere outside of these beacons?
No.
I think before putting any body parts into the path of the energy, it would make sense to try to speak to those who may have more history of these lands. I know the Khazan-Dwarn keep to themselves, but they are known to have the historical records. Right?
Correct. I'm wary of offending them as easy as it seems to be. It seems breathing off schedule may be cause for exile.
Felix nods.
Okay. I'm wondering if this energy is finite.
I'm curious what the source is.
There's a kitten on a table underneath everything. Ah! It extracted its life force.
All right.
Felix is going to take one last look at it and kind of study it, and in his mind, he's going to try to kind of fathom a way to recreate this on a smaller scale.
Ah.
Okay.
Like a way to have a core piece of source alchemite and a way to channel it to smaller pieces, or have smaller pieces project that energy. I don't know.
Go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
Oh, we could each have a piece of alchemite on us, and then have the core be Felix, and it kind of channels beams out, and we have this dome that travels.
Let's see. So that's 19.
Nice.
You feel like you might be picking up on something with how to do that. With this, all of the alchemite having some sort of powering element to it, whether that be life, whether that be fire, whether that be lightning, whatever. You feel like there might be something there in a way to connect these, or to be able to project from these. You're not certain how you would do it without draining the alchemite. Similar to the red alchemite, like when it's been thrown or when it's been used, whatever, it become dormant then after. Or the green alchemite used for healing, after it's used for healing, it generally becomes dull again. There would have to be some way to correct for that, or some way to work around draining the alchemite itself. Or you just have to know that whatever you're building or you're looking into, the alchemite would be an expendable resource that you would have to swap out.
Okay.
Is that a satisfactory bit of information?
Yeah. No, Felix is taking some notes in his notebook and stashes it away. And...
Don't forget to lock the door before we leave.
Well, of course. He shuts the door and locks it back.
All right, to the Magister, then west.
Okay. You head northward to the Magister, which you do find all the way along this outside wall. There is a space between where the buildings are and where the wall is, so there's sufficient walking room.
Okay.
Although it is not a road per se, it's more just open gravel that you can walk along. So you make your way to the Magisters.
Yeah.
It's getting towards evening now. The sun is definitely starting to set behind the mountains to the west. But you arrive at the Magister's Tower, where, again, when you get to the thoroughfare, looking eastward, you can see that there are people down towards the center of the city. But here, relatively few.
Okay. Interesting.
There's the usual kind of line of people leading up to his office.
Okay, yeah.
But it's small. It's similar to the last time that you came, when there were relatively fewer after the power had been distributed to the different people throughout the city.
All right. Do we all want to go in, or is only one of us to send the message of the non-force outside the barrier enough? Does Tizzle need to fly up? I don't imagine we'll be staying long.
Wait here.
Did you say you will wait here, or did you tell us to wait here?
I'll wait here.
Your microphone cut out. I heard wait here.
Yeah, we just said,
I'll-
wait here.
Wait
Hey,
here.
Batman, go for it.
He draws his gun, walks inside.
Yeah.
I can fly up and tell him.
You know what to
I
tell
shoot
him?
the Magister.
I will tell him
Eldritch
that
Blast.
I will tell him that reinforcements from a different outpost of Nan have come up to where the barrier is, trying to gain access and do not understand how, as well as the fact that we have blocked ships into the port, and now none can enter and none can leave.
25 to hit.
He casts Counterspell and stops your gun from going off. He then casts Meteor Storm 4 times.
Oh no! Isn't that like
He
100
destroys
d6?
his entire tower, and he does a backflip out the window and gives you the double deuces.
Yeah,
Yes.
excellent. If it does come up, they may need to move the docks to the southern section of the city.
I will let him know.
All right.
Yeah, I just fly up, going through the window. I don't care if he's occupied.
Okay. You do. When you go up, you find Danny is no longer there. Danny's already gone home for the evening. That there is another couple who is in the room with him who are speaking. And you just fly in the room, and immediately, as soon as you do, the couple is very thrown off. The Magister has started coming to expect this. And he stops speaking with them and says, just a moment, sorry. Yes, Tizzle.
Very quickly, we are heading west. But I want to inform you, Lex Crowley is quite angry. At the
I
moment,
assumed he would be.
the barrier has blocked ships in the port from being able to leave and ships from being able to come in. It is causing a lot of anger and commotion.
Yes, that is understandable.
There also are reinforcements in the non-camp just outside of the beacon we activated that have come in from the northeast, which we believe was where the larger camp was. They are poking and prodding at the barrier, trying to understand how to get in. The only reason that is relevant is if we were to take down the barrier to let ships out or in, it would likely allow a larger group of non-access. So it is something we will need to deliberate closer about once we get back.
Thank you for that.
Also, Council had the idea of potentially moving the docks outside of the barrier's reach to ensure this does not happen again.
Yes, there is several options we have already considered.
Okay.
And hopefully, in a short time, the non will no longer be a problem.
What does that mean?
Earlier, I spoke with Captain Verneth, and he had raised the idea, I believe, that you had all proposed about depth charges or about larger, maybe war siege weaponry to be used to defend the town. And we believe that there might be a way that we can accomplish this.
No, right. No, thank you very much. That was my idea. You're right. I came up with that.
You did.
Yes, very smart on that part.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
I
Before
hope that you did the appropriate research math behind the idea.
Yes,
So that it doesn't backfire and horribly mangle us.
before I gave the idea, I did take a bath. Yes.
Fantastic.
If I shoot a bolt off of the windowsill, does it bounce and hit Tizzle in the head?
You can't hear this.
Attack with disadvantage.
Before I take my leave, do you have any raw alchemite that we may be able to take with us on our journey in case we need it?
No, not at this point. I've used all of the lasts of my alchemite to, of course, create the necklaces originally, and then to deactivate the necklaces. So I have some red now that is going without use, but no clear. Sorry.
We'll take some bread if you have it.
Did you say bread?
Yes to bread and yes to red alchemite.
Pulls
do
out a
love
loaf
bread.
and starts tearing up pieces and throwing them on the ground.
Bread alchemite.
Bread alchemite!
Tizzle will change class for that.
He into a bread romancer or what?
Bread alchemist?
Oh.
Bread artificer?
He goes over to use the vase that you've seen him use before where he stored alchemite, and he pulls out kind of 3 chunks of red alchemite and hands them over to you. Can I only ask that you be far away from the city when you use it?
It will only be in case of dire straits. This you have my word on.
Thank you. Do you and your companions know where you're headed? Or how long you'll be gone?
How long is difficult to say. We are going west of the mountains. We ran into a dwarf named Jürgen who had a sentient armor plate. I'm still not sure what that thing was. Named Sledge, who had a hammer that we believe is tied to the locked doors to go beneath the city. We are going to find them. And
Did we tell the Magister that?
we told him.
I think we did, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, we told him about Sledge and Jurgen and the hammer.
I checked my notes earlier when I was looking for something else, and it specifically says that we told them about Sledge.
Okay.
Unless I misremembered it.
No, I believe
My notes are bad and my brain's broken, so
not as broken as mine.
that's true.
Session 13.
He takes all of this information in stride. We hope to have this situation sorted out by the time you come back, whenever that is. If you come back tomorrow, obviously we're not going to be able to deliver, but if you'll be gone for some time, then hopefully this will be taken care of.
I cannot imagine you would see us before a week's time. But I am around. The time isn't my thing.
All right.
Okay, I will take my leave. I apologize for interrupting. And he looks at the couple and he goes, "Hey, tell your friends," and he bails out the window.
Friendly neighborhood raven man.
Yeah, we did tell him halfway through session 13. We basically told him everything.
Okay. I just remember there were some pieces of information that you didn't
Yeah.
tell him.
I think we told him everything. Well,
We didn't tell him.
back and listen.
No, we didn't tell him about Council transforming. And the
That's
Right.
true.
That's
That's true. Okay. Yeah, he tries to wish you farewell before you jump out the window and goes back to the couple.
take luck.
Take luck!
yeah, Tizzle would fly back down and basically reiterate all that stuff. Exactly what he told them and tell everyone that they should have the non taken care of based on his expert intel about depth charges.
Great.
All right, heading out.
All right. You see the guards who let you out of the inner part of the city. You are outside, and again, you feel that fresh breeze on your face, and you see some kind of storm clouds forming near the peaks of the mountains. But other than that, you have the world before you.
As we're walking, have we concluded whether we are going over, around, or through the Dawn City?
He asks that. Revan pulls out the compass and thinks of how to gain entry to beneath the city.
Ah, there you go.
So the compass, again, points almost directly west of here.
He shows that to Council and the rest of the party. Then, well, at least for now, we need to head west. Perhaps we can decide whether to go around or through as we get there.
Oh yeah, I asked about this before we left on our break. I don't think we were going to answer. About a group of adventurers being able to get through the Dorn City, just pass through. Would they?
Oh yeah.
I feel like they'd be hostile towards that, or just let us by.
They might not be hostile. There would be a serious amount of suspicion and maybe wariness, but I don't think they would attack on sight or anything.
If we were assuming the city has guards, if we were to simply ask a guard that our goal was to get from this side of the mountain to the other, and if they had any suggestions, we could play it by ear from there. Maybe they let us through. Maybe they know of another road that makes it more comfortable for them and us.
Why is our goal to get to the other side of the mountain and not inside of the mountain?
Because Jürgen and Sledge went west, and we were in the mountain when that happened.
But was their intent to leave the mountain?
I recall Sledge saying that his people were far to the west.
They must have found a different way.
I imagine so.
Because Jürgen is also an exile like me.
Perhaps they died along the way. We'll find the hammer somewhere in a cavern. That is an opportunity.
So out of character asking, Felix is unwelcome in Touchstone?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
He was exiled. Yes.
Yep, that's usually how exiling works.
Oh, Felix was exiled from Touchstone? I thought Felix was exiled from someplace else.
Felix isn't welcome with the Breakers either. Which is the, other, gang of mostly Dwarn.
So he was exiled. He joined the Renegades, and then he was exiled from the Renegades.
Okay, and Touchstone is the primary Dorn city?
And,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Felix Felix may have like stolen the Renegade's like nicest car on his way out.
Got it. Okay, so we were like inches away from the Dwarn capital previously.
Yes.
We're headed
close.
back into there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felix, are you comfortable if we attempt to make it through Touchstone? Is that something you're willing to participate in?
Oh, I won't, but our friend Bjorn will.
Aye, of course. Then perhaps a direct route is our best bet to try first. From what I know of the Dwarn, they may send us away, but they're likely not to just outright attack us if they don't want us there. I agree.
And I think this next time, turning it into a Dwarn, I might be able to pass for a Dwarn, but it also raises suspicion. I might choose Hune next time.
That would make sense, especially since we are coming from a predominantly human settlement.
Aye.
You can call him the Hune Robert.
Ah, a peasant name.
Sure.
Sorry if there's any Roberts watching on stream.
Bobbert.
Guarantee there's not.
Bunch of noobs.
It's Crystal's middle name, isn't it?
Robert.
Crystal.
Crystal Robert Davidson.
Well, now you
I-
said
yeah.
her whole name. Someone's gonna steal her identity. Thanks, Adam.
Because that's how it's like summoning a demon. Oh no, they've got power over me. The direct approach may be the most efficient way to go. However, we must be careful, for if Felix's illusion drops in the middle of the city or at any time, we will have to face the consequences for associating with what I assume to be a criminal.
It's a good thing I got these from the Magister, and he holds out 3 red alchemite.
May I have one of those?
Maybe.
I
Yes,
find it.
okay, I'm pulling your leg here.
I carefully put it in my pack.
He's juggling the other two.
Oh no!
Maybe a dexterity check.
For future DM notes, Council will probably try to attach the alchemite to a bolt as like a grenade launcher.
17.
Just
Don't roll a 1.
sure.
Shoots
Pull
backwards.
trigger and
Bonus fire!
explodes.
The string like slides up the bolt, slaps against the alchemite, and just detonates.
The gun stays in place, but the string actually shoots the gun forward.
Yep.
What is this, Looney Tunes?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That sounds like an old cartoon.
Does anyone want this other piece of alchemite? Felix, could you use it?
I could use it.
Okay, you take it. I don't trust myself with more than one.
I actually still have a piece from Council, I believe.
No, from me, because I gave it
Was
to
it his
Callie.
all?
Ah, that's right.
No,
It's
I don't
still in the
forget.
pack.
Red alchemite seems to find its way to Tizol for some reason.
But then you wonder why I don't trust you when you don't tell us all the things. You had my alchemite.
You're the one who gave it to me. Knew I had it.
No, I gave it to Callie. Anyway, let's proceed.
Okay, doesn't matter.
All right, you guys head out of the city.
All right.
You begin making your way westward. Anything in particular you're looking for, or just trying to get to the mountain as quick as possible?
I start calling for the behemoth.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna scout ahead.
Behemoth!
I occasionally check the compass, thinking the same thing as we walk. Just every, I don't know, half hour, whatever seems fitting.
Sure.
Revan, Could you use that to point to anything? If perhaps we wanted to know where the behemoth was, could you just desire the behemoth?
Who's to say what it is I desire, wooden friend? But yes, to answer your question, I think that's how it works. I think of the behemoth and its whereabouts that we saw, a day or two ago.
You are leaving the city near sundown. It points slightly southwest of where you are now. But as you keep concentrating on it, you can see it is slowly moving northward. Across your path.
Make sure Wander sees it.
I'd look at the compass and kind of scoot over to where it's pointing and go,
Council just tilts his head in confusion.
Barnabas is on fire tonight.
I don't know what I'm on.
I cast burn wood.
I think that's called any fire spell.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Now, Revan,
I'm gonna.
have you thought of the person in your vision and used the compass, right?
Which I've had 2 visions as of late.
Well, you said in your vision that someone gave you the compass and then said, "Find me." Is that right?
That.
You tell me that someone handed you a compass, a magic compass, and said, "Find me," and then you didn't think of finding them?
Let me say this.
Spencer's face.
I gotta go. Bye, guys.
See you later, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Revan,
silly face.
we're outside the wall, right?
You are. Yes.
Revan sits down. My goodness.
Tizal doesn't register what he just said, by the way. Tizal's like, oh.
Gears are turning in Tizal's head. The hamster's going.
It's the math, Jeff.
Thinks back to his first vision.
Uh-huh.
And to the person from his vision, who and where their whereabouts may be currently.
Okay.
So, just before that happened, sorry. Last session you did something before that, you did something very similar and it pointed out to the ocean. Was that not what he was...
But
I don't know.
So I thought Neruya was the one in the vision, but I guess I was making assumptions there because I think it was Neruya who I thought of. No, it was Callie that I was trying to identify, and that pointed out to the ocean. Crap, I don't remember.
Pulling up my notes.
Something pointed to the center of the city, I think, at one point.
The center of the city.
Revan uses the compass to think of whomever gave it to him. It points
Oh,
east-northeast.
You did think of it.
Yeah, and out into the ocean, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that makes me feel less stupid. Although it did take until last session to do that, but still.
It was 2 sessions ago, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cover like he didn't, though, Spencer.
What?
Why'd you cover your face up? Like he didn't ask.
I'm no reason. Unrelated. I had to cough. Just tell yourself. Mhm.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I still, I guess, did the same thing, even though I already did it. And then since Felix asked, and then share with him where it's pointing to.
Okay.
Then I go back to thinking about how to get into the below the city.
Yeah. So when you think of whoever gave you the compass, it points east, northeast.
Revan, when you spoke to Callie, did she tell you where they reside?
To the east, into the ocean. She didn't give me an exact location, but it could potentially be where this is pointed to.
To the east in the ocean. Seems plausible.
And it was a long way out into the ocean.
And if they have another item similar to the compass that they use to track you,
Aye, the mirror.
We may need a ship at some point to follow this clue.
mhm.
If we were to find a ship, my heart would swell. Be back at sea again was a grand notion.
we can
Perhaps that is our
always
next step.
we can
Okay.
always steal one. There's plenty in the harbor right now that can't leave.
A lot of good that would do.
We raise the barrier and we go. Fine. No? Oh, I see. Sorry. Oh, ignore me. You're right. I see the problem. I see the problem. Forgive me.
I pet Tizzle's head and keep walking.
You continue walking westward.
All right.
Tizzle wants to scout ahead for the behemoth if he is coming back.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and make me a perception check as you take off to the sky. And are you trying to be sneaky about this?
Yes. Do you want stealth first or perception first?
Perception first, then stealth.
Okay. Perception is 11.
Okay.
Is it nighttime?
It is almost nighttime. It's like on the verge at this point.
So
Assuming you
advantage
guys have walked for a while outside the city, it's like 8 p.m. It's late evening.
I get
Evening.
advantage on stealth checks when I'm flying at night. But I get advantage then?
I'm going to say not quite yet. The sun hasn't totally set.
That's fine. Whoop, that's not great.
Actually, never mind.
12.
I take that back. It is getting later in the year. Yeah, you can you can have advantage.
Thanks. Well, that second roll was a natural 1, so I'm going to take the first one, which was whatever roll, 3 plus 8? Yes. 3 plus 8, so an 11.
Okay. You see it slightly north of the cave. You are not sure if you are stealthy.
Great. I'm going to fly. I'm going to continue going straight. So it's going north of the cave, so it's surpassed the mouth of the cave.
Yes, it is already past the cave.
Okay, I'm going to head south. I'm going to start drifting south to try to
Okay.
maybe get out of its periphery and see if it tries to turn around.
Okay. Go ahead and make me another stealth check and then another perception check.
I hope it starts throwing trees at you like javelins.
It's actually a frog hemoth, and it just shoots its tongue out and eats Tizzle.
No thanks. Natural 20 plus 8, so 28 on my stealth.
Jeez. Just turns into an SR-71.
And perceptions of 15 plus 4, so 19 perception.
Okay. You see it You're pretty sure that you're stealthy this time. But you notice that the creature stops going northward, and it has turned around.
I am going to beeline it to the east to let everyone know.
Okay. Go
Stealth.
ahead.
Where was
make
it?
Make me another stealth check.
Where was it again?
North of the mouth of the
just
cave?
Slightly north of the mouth of the cave.
Oh no.
22?
22 in stealth.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you fly back to the group.
And and as I go past, I do want to look at it again to see if it's following, if it's just dead stopped, what it's doing.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Yeah, 10.
You don't see it.
I don't see it.
As you are traveling,
Mm-hmm.
you're glancing back. You're not able to distinguish its shape up against the mountains
Okay, that's fair.
because it is still a ways off.
I would get back to the group and let them know. In scouting, it probably saw me and stopped near the mouth of the cave.
Council draws his crossbow and his shield and starts running west and says, Joan is out mining. And runs.
What's everybody else do?
Oh,
She's in the cave. She would be safe.
I'll follow behind him. My gun
Now
drawn.
fly ahead.
So
Yep.
Follow as well.
definitely not like a reckless charge. If like I see it or something and it's just kind of sniffing around, then definitely like stopping, but I'm not gonna like run in like I'm gonna get you, you know.
I'm gonna fly like alongside council and say I will try to go north and distract and draw it away from the mouth of the cave.
Okay.
And he'll take off and do it.
Okay. Why don't you, Council or Tizal? Why don't you give me a stealth check first to fly up alongside Council, and everyone else. Are you being stealthy in your charge westward?
It's not like a sprint, so like kind of like a kind of like a quiet jog, but so like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
15 on my stealth check to get up to
Yeah.
council.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to fly up alongside Council and let him know.
There we go.
And everybody else who is charging westward, make me a stealth check.
So does scale mail
You have
give me
disadvantage.
Yeah. Do I have any penalties? Is it like 3.5 of Pathfinder with
No,
like
you just have disadvantage.
disadvantage? Okay.
I got a
you-
non-natural 20.
Okay.
My first roll is an 18, so that's great. That doesn't count. Okay, that's a 10 plus stealth 5, 15.
I think that there is a maximum dexterity bonus that you get though.
I can pull it up here. If I be scale mail. Stealth disadvantage. That's all it says.
That's all it says.
Yeah.
what's full plate?
Full plate is disadvantage, and
Plus-
definitely has a.
Plus 2?
I think so. No, so scale mail is also max 2 dex modifier.
Oh, max 2 dex modifier. Okay.
Oh, so that's for your AC.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with your stealth.
Oh, okay.
But plate, yeah, you still have disadvantage as well on stealth checks.
Okay.
But so also keep that in mind for your AC, Council.
Yes.
That your dex only adds 2 to it.
Mm.
So I got a 15 on my stealth.
15 on yourself? Okay. And Tizal, Oh, Wander. Did you give me a stealth check as well?
Yeah, 19.
19. Okay. Tizal.
Stealthy boys.
I'm also going to send the homunculus out ahead. It has 30 feet of flying movement, so well, I guess it could go about as fast as us.
Yeah, it keeps up with you basically.
But I'm going to basically tell it if it sees Joan to fly to her.
Okay. Tizal, what are you doing to either get this thing's attention or to look for it or whatever you're doing?
I definitely want to try to look for it while being stealthy to try to like get it back in my periphery. And once I see it, I want to fly parallel to it to try to like basically come up the tree line ahead of it to get its attention.
There are no trees.
There are no trees?
There's very little
Okay.
Vegetation.
That's fine.
vegetation.
That's fine.
There you go.
It doesn't need to be vegetation. It's the plan's the same.
Yeah.
I'm still, as soon as I see it, I'm going to try parallel with it, and then as soon as I think I am ahead of it, like by a considerable amount, like heading north. We're going west, so northeast, like perpendicular with the mountain,
Okay.
parallel with the mountain.
Yeah, which is basically going like it's basically straight north.
Yeah, to where I think it's likely going, which I think they live up north and they go south to hunt.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or do I have it inverted?
No, yeah, as far as you know, they live up north and go south to hunt.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna basically try to get its attention. Like as soon as I'm about 60 feet, like in front of where I think its like head is, that's when I'm gonna try to get its attention, and then just keep flying northeast.
Okay. Go ahead. All right. What are you doing to try and get its attention? Actually, first make me a perception check to see if you can see it.
Sure.
How far
I
away
have-
is Tizal?
No matter.
No, from us. I mean,
14. I don't know.
14 what?
14
perception?
Yeah.
Let me.
I have splint mail, not scale mail. So I don't get my dex modifier.
Okay. You can see the creature now where it was. It hasn't moved from where you originally spotted it, and it has crouched down to the ground and is definitely like in full stalker mode. Even for such a large beast, it is like prowling, essentially.
Okay. I'm gonna basically I'm gonna try getting behind it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna this is probably the worst idea I've ever had. I want to be about 80 feet in front of it.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to fly up even closer to it? Because it's going to take a while to get to it. Because where you saw it originally, it was still probably like a half a mile away. You saw like a lump up against the mountains, essentially.
Yeah, I want to head. I want to head in this direction. I don't want to get 80 feet. I want to get 300 feet away.
Okay. So the rest of the group is still charging westward. Are you guys looking out for the creature at all, or are you just trying to make it to the cave?
I'm absolutely looking out for the creature.
Yep.
Okay.
Want to follow behind Tizal in his path, but on the ground.
Okay.
Oh, so Revan's tracking ahead?
Yeah.
Well, he is tracking
I mean,
north.
I don't have fast.
He's
I have
tracking
30
northeast.
feet movement. So.
Northeast.
Right.
Yeah.
Ahead,
Yeah,
not being west. Not ahead being west.
Or-
ahead being northeast, because I'm going northeast.
Yeah.
Parallel with the mountain.
Northeast would be like away from the creature.
Right.
Oh,
That's where I'm going.
Sorry, I thought I misunderstood the way you're going. So I
Let
want
me-
to slightly veer off to head towards it.
So if the creature is here, let me do this. If the cave is here, you guys are here.
Hmm.
Creature is there.
Oh, northwest.
You're saying, Tizal, you want to fly northeast this
No,
way?
sorry. I misunderstood the orientation. North. I want to go north
Okay.
to more northwest to get behind the creature.
Okay, so you start going that way. Revan,
Yeah.
you are following him.
No, I want to head northwest directly towards it.
At the
Directly
creature?
towards the creature?
Correct.
Okay.
When I see Revan running kind of off track of the path, because me and Council are running towards Joan
And Wander.
I kind of like hushed shout. I don't know, as like
What y'all doing?
we don't want to engage if we don't have to. And I also have 25 feet of movement, so if we're going full speed,
you guys are leaving Felix in the dust.
Felix is slowly getting a little bit behind, but his homunculus can keep up with you.
I will move with Felix for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Tactics and stuff.
Okay, so you guys are moving basically 50 feet around that way.
Yep.
Revan is going 60 feet around that way.
Yep.
And Tizal is going 80 feet around?
75.
75 feet? Well,
Yep.
75. What's that a double of?
Oh, 65. Sorry. Oh, my base flight is 65. So you're right. It's 130.
130 feet around.
Oh, dang. You're so fast.
I'm a bird.
Well, then
He's a
the
bird,
homunculus is going to get a little bit ahead of us each round, then, like 10 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so the homunculus is going a little bit ahead of you. Okay, cool.
So I don't intend to I want to stop. I'm not running up to melee distance to this creature. I want to be I'd like to know when I hit 1,000 feet and then reassess the situation.
Everybody make me a perception check.
Also, 130 feet per second is 90 miles an hour.
Whoa.
It's a freaking peregrine falcon.
Right.
I rolled natural 1.
Natural 1 for perception?
I
Did I
rolled a
already-
natural 20.
20. I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
17.
21.
Okay.
Jeez.
We on alert.
You four on the ground, you looking, you see the creature now as you're running head forward towards the cave or towards the creature.
Yep.
You can see that the creature has essentially just stopped. It's just kind of slowly inching its way, not very fast at all, almost perceptible, southward back towards the cave.
Okay.
Tizal, you have lost sight of the monster.
Okay.
And we'll pick up there next time.
No.
But
How far are we approximately, or how far am I at this point?
If you wanted to stop at 1,000 feet, we could say that you stopped at 1,000 feet.
Okay, well, we can do this more. I didn't want to stop at 1,000, but I wanted to know when I.
If you wanted to reassess at 1,000, you could reassess
Yes.
at 1,000.
Want to keep moving, but yeah, we can do that next time. Cool.
Okay.
My plan is working out perfectly. The